I got another mix of the thing coming over.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, the final mix.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just play that then, dude. But yeah, so fucking Al will make that shit better. Greg Moog, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, man, it's good. It's good to be back here.
Yeah,
With some knuckles.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming back. Dude.
Yeah, for sure.
So you went on a little trip out to the East Coast. Had a little bit of fun out there.
A little bit of fun in Virginia.
You got some fucking shit going on. That track we talked about.
Yeah,
That's coming. You got another mix of that coming, you said?
I got another mix of that on the way over. I think we talked about it last time, and it's finally about ready to be released. We get the final mix. Worked with Sterling Winfield, that's a Hell Yes producer. Derek Abrams from Ministry. Ian Severson from Future Leaders of the World. Derek used to play with us in Black Flood, and Ian was in Ginger Dick. I got the track. We'll let it rip here. Should be coming through here any second now. Yeah, man. Just trying to keep the head above water in these fucking crazy times, you know?
That's all cool, and I'm really excited about all that. But one thing I want to talk about is your Freddy Krueger sweater.
Oh yeah. I found this and I couldn't resist, dude. I couldn't fucking resist. I'm like, it's just, I like, as I'm getting older, I like sweaters.
Me too.
You know what I mean? They're comfy.
Me too. I don't know if you can tell.
And you know, it's funny. I've got one of those in my closet, and I was debating on wearing it too because they're so fucking comfy.
Dude, it is.
It's so comfy.
I get so much shit about this sweater, and I'm like, you don't understand.
No, totally. And you know,
I got fucking holes in it and shit now. Yeah. It doesn't even matter.
I'm gonna bet that you're not gonna give up wearing that sweater for the foreseeable future.
Not until I find a better one.
Yep. So,
and then I'll still probably keep this one just for like an extra backup.
Yep.
Dude, it's also dope when you're camping.
Yep.
Like you need that one. You don't want a coat, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Throw on the fucking sweater, bro.
No, totally. So I saw this and I was like, dude, that totally reminds me of Freddy Krueger, but it's not the same colors, but I'm like, that's perfect. I love the fall. Mm-hmm. You know, it's nice and gray. It starts getting colder. Mosquitoes just fucking destroy me in the summertime. I mean, like it's bad. Me and my kid,
I'm so lucky.
Dude, we get massacred. Like if you were to see my legs right now, it looks like, you know, it does. It looks like I'm a fucking crackhead. It's bad. Like I can't be out without them just devouring me. And when the fall comes around, that goes away.
That's my wife.
She got the same thing going on?
Yeah, she gets devoured. She just can't even do it. And I'm so lucky. I don't get bit by mosquitoes hardly. And when I do, I don't even notice it. I don't feel it. Like I rarely feel a mosquito biting me. It's got to be like on my neck or my face.
Yep. Yeah, it gets bad. So I saw this sweater. I was like, you must be mine. You have to. you will be mine. You know. So
a great sweater is a special thing, and you don't appreciate them when you're a young man.
Well, I picked this one up, and I'm a big thrift store guy, right? Because I can't justify dropping a motherfucking $100 on a pair of jeans.
It's so funny you say that. I was just telling my wife today. I was like, I miss Savers.
Yeah,
I haven't been to Savers in so long. You can find the best shit at Savers.
Yep.
Any thrift store, really.
Yep.
Salvation Army. Like, you find brand new, really cool shit there.
Yep. So I got this and like two other fucking sweaters that are both like black and gray, right? For like $12. You know, this is like $3.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, it's fucking $3, man. I can't pass it up. My kid was there with me. I'm like, I'm getting this. You know, fucking, you know, find some other shit. Yeah. So that's the story behind that. I love the fall. It's my favorite time of year.
Do you remember? You might. Fuck. I don't think you're old enough. I'm not technically old enough. I just know a lot of shit from before I was born. Do you remember the Tomorrow Show with Tom Snyder?
I don't.
So like it was Johnny Carson, right? And then eventually it was Johnny Carson into David Letterman on the Late Show.
Yep.
That Conan eventually took over.
Yep.
Right. And then
Letterman then went off and like did his competing thing.
Yep. But that was later down the line. So it was these three shows. It was the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, the Late Show with David Letterman, and then it went into this following show and it was called Tomorrow because it aired at like 1 a.m. or some shit like that, or midnight or whatever.
Yep.
And I've been struggling. People have been asking me, all these older people, and telling them I'm doing the podcast. And that's what this is like.
Right.
So people are like, oh, Joe Rogan's so ahead of the curve, you know, in this podcast thing, it's the future. And I'm like, well, technically it's the past. Because they already did this once and it was awesome.
Right.
And it was called Tomorrow with Tom Snyder. And it was super successful. And it just cracked me up, dude, because it's like, it's such a chill. We can talk about anything we fucking want to. There's no form. We just opened talking about sweaters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
no, totally.
If anybody's lost, like, where the fuck is he going with it? That just, and it's fine.
Right.
Like,
No,
we'll talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the reason that I wanted to come back here. And I mean, we've obviously known each other for a long time, and just shoot the shit because, you know, I mean, I think we can all, everybody's got their own fucking opinions on whatever these days. But I think one thing we can all agree on is that day to day, I mean, life is a moving target at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just you wake up and, you know, I was talking with you know, the cat I lived with the other day, and you know, we just woken up and fucking it was like 10 in the morning. I'm like, yeah, you know, we were outside smoking and I'm like, yeah, you know, fucking it's a pretty peaceful day so far. And then I looked at the clock. I'm like, it's 10. like, give it a couple hours, right? Something's fucking coming up around the corner, no matter what the fuck it's gonna be, you know. So I took a break from it was like a week after I got back from Virginia.
Yeah, dude, you got to just get off the social media for a while. Just do it. You have to, and it sucks for us because we need to be on it to promote and stay relevant and, you know, stay on people's radars.
Right.
Because if you don't, this is the thing. This isn't like, I mean, for some of us, for a lot of us, it is. We need that. We desperately need that approval and interaction with people that appreciate our art. You know, most musicians, our identity is built very much like a comedian. Like, without the laughter or without the crowds, we wither and die on the vine.
Right.
But regardless, now there's actually, like, that's how the algorithms work. Like, when you take a week off, you immediately lose a certain group of people that normally would have seen your next post.
Right.
So it's like, it's such a fucking double-edged sword with us because it'll drive us nuts because we have to be on there so much, and then that's and then you can't get back to being mentally stable until you get off there for a while.
Right.
And I feel like a week is just the beginning, dude.
Well, yeah, it's and pardon me, I'm just gonna check this because I got this fucking track. I got this final mix of this track coming through.
Yeah, if you got it, just fucking do what you did, send it to me, and then once I get it, I'll airdrop it to myself, and then I'll just play it.
Right here, let me just
Hopefully it works. That's what I was trying to figure out, is if I even got it to work, because I've been having issues with the audio playing correctly on the actual podcast.
Yep. So here's the request that I'm getting. I'm going to send you this, but the request is that you delete it from your files after playing it.
No promises.
That's that's the request here.
No problem.
Because it's a final mix, but it's unmastered.
No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, I know, but it's not my project. You know what I mean?
He is Prince.
It's not my project. It's not my project.
Ian, if you're watching this, who do you think you are, Prince?
Yep. Here's what I'm saying, bro. I don't want a digital copy of the track in any possession besides you or me.
Okay.
Those are the rules.
Okay.
Those are the rules. And in my age, I have decided to.
I don't, dude. Here's the thing: is I just realized I don't think I even got it fucking working technically.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I bet it won't even work. I bet you will hear it and they won't hear it. This is so funny.
Yeah. Just hold on.
This is hilarious. No promises.
Okay. So here.
But while you're doing that,
yep.
You said you had another project you're working on too. What's going on with that?
Yeah.
Is it a super group? Is it a local super group of legends?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. Maybe legends in our own mind. Legends in our own mind, right? That's how it usually works. No, so yeah, it's super fucking cool. It's guys that I've known for a long time. I'll go through the whole lineup here. Well, going through this. So I live with the cat. You may know him. He wasn't a part of the music scene down here, but he was very active. He was very active with bands down here. They're from Duluth, a band called Dwelling from back in the day. Through a bunch of big shows down here, we did a bunch of shows out of town with them and Skywind. Sean Pogel is the guy's name, and I live with them, right? He was their vocalist, right? So 2 singers in the project. Myself and him, and then we have Vimana Agiri, super ridiculous guitar player, was the DJ in the band Dodd.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, played in a band called Color Feast way a long time ago, and then I think he played with Harsh Reality for a while. 2 guys named Juan. One is Juan Martin.
I know Harsh Reality. That's Tempest and Jendine.
Yep, Tempest and Jendine.
Tempest, right? Jendine on the podcast.
Yep. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing. Hope you guys are doing well. All the best to you. Perfect.
So who is the guy that you said?
Okay, so
is he on this CD? I want to know if he's on this CD.
It's a good question. His name is Vim Agiri. Aguyurre.
No.
Okay.
This was a guy named Odie and Eric.
Okay. Yep. So that's from I think that's from a while ago. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send this over to you right now the same way.
Wait, Vin Mercy?
Nope. His name is Vim, V-I-M.
What's his last name?
Agiri. It's spelled Aguirre, Aguyurre.
I wonder if he's under the fucking name here as Vim or V Mercy.
That's a different dude. That's a guy from the band Mercy Kill and Apocalypse Theater, I believe.
Oh, I remember those guys.
Yep. Him and Kat Morgan, I think her name was. Red-haired chick.
I remember
Apocalypse Theater. I believe. I think. I don't know.
Let's see.
So that dude, super awesome. I've known him for years. I've messed around writing a bunch of tracks with him over the years. One of the best guitar players that I've ever had the pleasure of playing with. 2 dudes named Juan, one of which Juan Carlos Lagunas Reyes, who plays in the band Glutton for Punishment, and also played in the band Blood War. So he is the other guitar player.
I think I figured it out.
Yep. Juan Marquez, who is the bass player that plays in I want to say all the projects.
I wanna.
Yep. So we got Juan 1 and Juan 2, right? Bass player Juan Marquez plays with our drummer Gerson Perez from the band Selfless.
Yeah, I remember Gerson.
Yeah.
He's not a big fan of me.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
He's not a fan.
Political?
No. Personality.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's
we'll pivot off of that.
Well, maybe we can fix that.
Probably not.
Okay. So there's that. So here I'm sending this over to you. Now you got to delete it. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, after we play it, you got to delete it.
No problem.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying.
No problem.
This is a you and me thing now. So okay, so those and that's it. So it's 6.
Did you text it to me again?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll take a minute to come through.
So 6 guys. First time that I've ever played with another vocalist. Nice. That's a nice ringtone.
Isn't it? The best part is that I don't think they can hear it because I have it turned down. But hold on, I have to take this. This is my dad. Hold on.
Yep.
Hey, I'm on a podcast. Yeah. I'll let me call you back. Yeah. I'm literally on a podcast, so let me call you in a couple hours.
Hi, Dad.
All right, later. Bye. He has no fucking idea what that means. He has no idea what a podcast is. I'm like, I'm on a podcast. I'll call you back later. And he's like, so like soon?
Right. Trying to get a timeline.
Oh, that's fucking funny, dude. Oh my God.
So the band name is
I'm fucking dying.
Derecho.
Derecho?
Derecho. And
like a inland hurricane.
yeah.
Like what just hit fucking Iowa.
We were in the middle of that. Me and Sean were in the middle of that.
So you started a band name based on this premise. Please tell me that's how you did this.
That is exactly how I did it.
So you were like, oh, this is fucking crazy. It's like a hurricane. And then somebody was like, it's called a derecho. And then you're like, no way. That'd be a great band name. And then someone was like, let's start that band. And then that's how it happened.
Yeah. So the project, we were already talking about doing it, right? And we, we're kicking around, whatever. And there's some riffs or whatever. And then we got stuck in the derecho. And we're like, that's got to be the name of the band. We had fucked around with a couple different ideas. And we're like, well, fuck, dude. That works perfectly. Because, and let me just make sure that I'm doing the research on it. It's it's a Spanish word, right? And 4 out of the 6 guys are of some type of Latin descent, right?
Wait a minute, what am I doing here? I'm retarded. Okay, so they're Latin descent.
Yeah. So either Mexican or G's from Chile, right?
Yeah.
And so, it worked out perfect. And then me and Sean were caught in the storm. So we're like, fucking, this works out perfectly. Yeah. And it's been super fun, man. It's been refreshing because they're all guys who have been around. We're fucking around with a bunch of different, we're kind of getting our feet wet when it comes to the sound of it. But personally, it's been nice because, my whole life playing metal, you do the heavy vocals, you do the clean vocals, you got to do all of it, right? And a lot of people who aren't vocalists, I don't think, or vocalists who don't, dip their toes into the heavy part of things, you don't realize how different it is and what you have to do to your body and your voice to go from the heavier vocals into a clean with some dirt on it. It's a whole different fucking thing.
Yeah. So literally physiologically, like within your throat and all that, you're actually like, and then there's also like physical manifestations. Sometimes it's your body posture.
Yep.
The way you're hunched over, not hunched over, where your shoulders are. It's a headache. It's a craft, dude.
Yeah, it's a craft. And so what's nice about this is, the other cat, Sean, does a lot of the heavier stuff, right? That's what he did in Dwelling. And what it's doing is it's allowing me room to, I still, fuck around with that and can throw that in when necessary.
I think it's working, dude.
Okay, good. But what it does is what I really enjoy doing is writing hooks, right?
Right.
That's always been, I'm a slut for a fucking good hook. And by not having to A-B back and forth from heavy to melodic, when I come in with accent parts or verses or whatever, or hit the chorus, I can stay in that fucking Chino Chuck Billy type of fucking range, Mike Patton a little bit, that type of clean singing where I'm not having to primarily focus on here's a whole fucking verse of heavy shit, which I do love to do. But as a vocalist, it's kind of, you get a 2-for-1 on it, which is interesting. I've never worked with another singer before, right? So you got 6 people in it that have all written music a lot, and we're not doing it for any other.
And you're just doing the clean shit.
I'm doing, well, yeah. You could say that, and then there's parts of that I'll do some of the heavy stuff, but it's more for fucking garnish on the side,
Gotcha.
right? To where if we want to have 2 guys doing the heavy shit or an alternating fucking A/B call and response type of thing, it's not like I'm on the hook for fucking writing 8 bars of fucking heavy vocals and then the hook right after it, right? Which, that's not the easiest thing to do, right?
One thing that's really cool is if the voices match correctly, if one guy can do like a really brutal scream while you're singing, like it works great in verses. Like it's a great trick to do in verses. So like there's the growling or the screaming or whatever.
Yep.
And then you sing and then you match the cadence perfectly.
Yep.
It's really fucking cool. I used to do it on demos and shit, and I think one of my old bands tried to do it on record, Or I think we developed it after. I don't fucking remember. It doesn't matter. It was a shitty band anyways. But back to this, because I want to. If this works, I want to do this. I want to play this while we're still talking about this. What do you want to do? Do you want to cue up the whole song?
Yeah, whatever works for you. Yeah, we can do that. If people want to jam the whole tune, if you want to jam half of it or whatever. So this is not.
How long is it? It doesn't tell me right there. I don't know why.
That's a good question. I don't know. It's probably. I want to say it's about 4 minutes.
Okay, so if you guys don't want to listen to this whole thing, just fucking timestamp this wherever it's at and skip ahead 4 minutes. But yeah, I'm just gonna let this rip.
Yep. Now this is not derecho music. This is a project that Ian Severson.
This is what we talked about last time you were here.
This is the one that Sterling Winfield, Pantera's head engineer, Hell Yeah's producer. It's an unmastered version, but it's the final mix of it, right?
And this is the one I'm not promising to delete. Boom, here we go.
There we go.
I'm such a fun. I think this is going to work. Yeah, there we go. It's coming in. Okay, there we go.
Gracias.
That's classic Black Flood right there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like vocally, I'm saying. You had so many fucking different members of that band.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Like the music had its sound, but the way it was executed changed so much over the years.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I don't have anything to worry about here because it's not licensed yet, right? And even if it gets licensed, so fucking... Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, just super...
It was just kind of like, until the drums accented. Then I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Otherwise, like, sometimes the noodling shit is just a little like, meh. But, no, that was cool. I like that.
And it was a tricky one to write to because the time signature is fucking off the wall. I mean, it's... Going back to the whole writing hooks thing, it's like you figure out a way to make some type of hook work in this box when the time is all over the fucking place. It could be tricky.
Yeah, it's like 11:12 or something.
It's weird. Whatever it is, it's weird.
Yeah, it's like it's weird. It's almost like 5-6 and then 11-12.
Yeah,
back and forth.
It's it was.
Well, there we go, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're super happy with it. And the
I don't remember Ian being that good of a guitar player.
Oh, he's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal.
So that's just classic trope of him being in Ginger Jake, where it's like, no, we don't shred in this band.
Well, here's the thing: is that the project, this project is
no disrespect to Ginger Jake, they were a good band.
They
just didn't shred.
They didn't shred. But he has this woodshed of tunes, right, that he's had for years. That he put. There's one, and I'm in the middle of working on a second one, right? But he's got a couple with Wally from Skywind on it.
Yeah. Wally was talking about it when he was here too.
Yep. So he's got a couple with that. Obviously, that will sound much different than this. He's got a one with a dude that was on.
It's an actual collaboration album.
Exactly.
That everyone in Minneapolis has talked about doing for 20 years, but not one fucking person has actually pulled it off.
Yep.
And he's doing it almost exclusively from New Orleans.
Correct. Yeah.
That's the ironic part about it.
So he had, this is before pre-COVID, he had Derek come in, for a week and lay down drums in New Orleans, right?
Yep.
And then...
Yeah, I think, didn't Derek stop off a tour or something like that? Or he had a break on tour or something?
Yeah, I think he had a break, yep. He had a break. It was in between ministry tours or whatever. So he went in to New Orleans, and then I was working on vocals, and Ian happened to be up here for a few days. So we booked a couple different sessions, right? And the second one was with Wally. After we had run through one booth session, the vocals were a little bit different. It was less heavy, right? We kind of analyzed it. And we're like, all right, you know what? Fucking let's just let her rip,
Right.
Let's just let her fucking go and whatever. And so that's what came out of it. And Wally recorded and engineered and did some production on the vocals, right? And then we ended up with working with Sterling Winfield, who then took what we did initially and, put his little fucking tricks on it. And what I get a kick out of and what I kind of makes me smile when I listen to it is if you listen back to the Hell Yeah albums, right? If you listen to the Pantera records that he's worked on, there's like this dry type of signature sound that the guy gets out of what he is working on. And it's just, it's a unique sound. I mean, everything's a matter of preference, but it's a unique fucking sound when you listen to the stuff that he's worked on, and you can hear it in that track from the form that it was in before we got it over to him. And then once he worked on it, right?
Right.
You can hear the same type of shit that he had done with Phil and how he mixed it and that he did with Chad Gray. And so that to me is, I'm like, holy fuck, dude, as you get older, you start to value some of the experiences that you work with and the people you work with.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, the fucking guy who's mixed fucking Phil Anselmo and fucking, it's fucking Phil Anselmo has just worked on my vocals.
That's sick.
And likes the song. He's like, no, dude, whatever, just fucking, he put in extra work on it. We're like, well, kick some more dough. He's like, no, I like the fucking tune. Just get me another one. And we're like, bam, bam, fuck yeah, dude. And so that's... Is there any?
And you went down and recorded the vocals with Wally down at fucking what they call it F5 down here. It's actually right down the road from my house.
Yep, yeah, right down the road. That is exactly which used to be, I think, because I remember partying over there. The band 13th Step, they turned into UFA. The band UFA.
I remember them. Yeah.
Yeah, they rehearsed in that building before the studio that Wally works for and in.
Really? Because I remember them having that fucking warehouse spot up in fucking Blaine.
They moved from Blaine that they threw huge keggers at.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we played a couple of those. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, and they got it because they needed a place to fucking park their tour bus.
Yep. So then they moved down here though. And I believe it was into that building. It was in their twilight hours of that project, right? Mm-hmm. But they moved into that building. So when I went in there to record vocals and saw Wally, hey, what the fuck's up? I'm like, dude, I think I've fucking been in here before. And, it was faded at the time when I'm in there because it's after we play a show and fucking just wasted. And I'm like, no, I've been in this because they had this fucking clown that they are some weird horror movie prop, right? That they had put in and strategically put into a hallway that if you had never been in before, they're like, oh yeah, we'll give you a tour of the fucking building or whatever. I'm fucking walking around and then bam, you turn the corner, out pops this fucking body or whatever. And you jump out of your fucking jeans and they're all laughing at you, I'm like, dude, I know this place because of that,
Right.
So that's cool. I don't know. You get older and you start to fucking value some of the shit, and who knows what'll ever happen with this track. We'll push it for sure.
Right.
And I want everybody to fucking hear it, and some people like it and some people probably won't, and whatever. That's cool, but it's not even necessarily for me so much about even thinking about catching a break. I mean, that's great, but it's all about having a good time, right? And when you're done with it, you feel better about life in general.
Right.
You feel better. You feel younger, like you can fucking create things again.
Right.
And you like the company of the people that you're fucking with.
Yeah.
And that, for me, that's it. It's like, I'm so much happier now looking at music that way. And it took taking a couple, 3 years off to get to that spot. And as fucked up as that is to say, you get into it, you're young, you get some success, it gets to your fucking head, it turns into a competition. You have to keep it that way in order to survive, to catch your fucking break. At the time, you don't want to admit the fact that a very small percentage of people fucking get and convert on that break, right?
Well, not only that, dude, but it really kind of was a competition back then. There was only so many venues. There was only so many shows. There was too many bands. There was only so many fans.
Well, totally.
There was a bottleneck on how to get to those fans, right? So like you had to get one of these other people to believe in your band and put you in front of people.
Right.
This was because even though the internet was out there, and yes, there was a few bands that blew up back in the day off MySpace, but that still wasn't, we were still operating under the model of doing it a certain way. And honestly, like trying to blow up on MySpace was as hard, if not harder, because it was an unwritten road.
Right.
You didn't know how to do anything on MySpace unless you fucking knew how to program and fucking knew how to code shit to get it to go viral. Because that's apparently that's how shit used to go viral. It's like you'd pay somebody and they'd like set it up to fucking weave through and feed through. I don't really understand it, but that kid from Owl City did that.
Okay, sure.
Apparently.
So, it's like, the other interesting thing too is that, and we've talked a ton of music, in general, but I don't know if we've touched on this, is, people can say that music shouldn't be a competition, right? And musicians can say, it's fucking bullshit, whatever. We're just doing it for, for whatever. And yes, that is true, okay? But until you've really experienced and been a part of a bunch of fans actually wanting to come to your shows and see you and consume your product, I'm not talking like 80, 100 people. That's nice and everything, right? I'm talking 5, 6, 7, 800, 1,000, 1,500 people, an entire community gravitating towards what you do. I'll tell you what, you'll be surprised at the instincts that come out of a person when that type of attention is in play for fucking what you create.
Right.
You can say that you're not going to be that way, right? But until you've experienced it and understand what that vibe is like, it's like comparing apples to oranges. And so you get caught up in that for a significant period of time, and you come out on the other end and you realize you're like, fucking Jesus, all that stuff that I took seriously really didn't matter for shit, man. Right. And it's almost like it takes getting older for me to get to that spot, because for so long and a lot of people, the name of the game is getting people out to your fucking show, right?
Well, and yeah, but here's the thing is like, there's more depths and layers to even what you just said. Like when you're younger as a musician, most of us are fucked up emotionally, and that's why we're musicians. Like all musicians are a little fucked up. And if they seem normal, that just means they're holding it together better than everyone else who's exactly like them, like a fucked up musician, right? So a lot of us, like I said earlier, we need that validation from people that like we find happiness just making the music, and that's why we make the music. But we get out of the basement or the garage or wherever you start, and you start playing shows and you start getting that validation from other people, and it gives you this sense of fulfillment and this identity, whether it's real or not. That's what you're talking about. And I think the difference is you say for you, it took you getting older, but there's a lot of other shit that goes with that as well. Is you've, for whatever reason, like me, you and most people, most musicians, most comedians, as we get older, we start finding our identity and our value in other things. And we need the praise less and less from outsiders, because we realize how little it actually matters.
Right.
And I think for guys like us, and Comedians probably too, but I think comedians less so because even older comedians talk about it more. But I think musicians figure out like it's just a drug. That admiration, that outpour,
Right.
And you as a singer can. What I'm going to say personally, this will make more sense to you than a lot of other musicians, because I've gotten to that same spot where you're regularly playing in front of hundreds of people,
right?
Not 80 to 100. Like that's the starter shit, you know what I mean? But you get with the right people, you book the right shows, you promote your band well, you keep your shit tight. Eventually, you're playing in front of very large crowds, and then there's it's weird how it turns from like you're regularly playing for 1,500 and you do that for it could be 10 years,
right?
And then all of a sudden you finally write something and somebody puts it on the radio and boom, your fucking concerts sell out. We're talking pre like YouTube and fucking internet shit. We're talking classic model here of the old music business. But my point is like we were able to identify that feeling of when those kids, fuck man, even when there's only 300 or 400, but they're passionate about your music, it still feels like a big crowd.
Yep.
And your ears can only hear so much volume, and a 1,500 person crowd in a small club, it doesn't matter if there's 15,000 people, you can only hear so much,
right,
before it just becomes a fucking like wow. The only difference is in like a 35,000 person arena. I've been to those concerts. Maybe I haven't been on stage performing in front of 35,000 people, but I've been in that crowd and I've heard the crowd. I know what the fucking crowd sounds like.
Right.
It's a lot different, but I guarantee you for the guys on the actual stage, the volume difference, you can only hear so much.
Right.
So it's like playing football when you're at a football stadium. It's like, but when you're on the field hearing that, it's not that much different than hearing 1,500 people scream directly in your face.
Yeah, it's
you see what I'm saying?
it's
volume wise, it's the same, and you can only see a few rows out because of the lights. Yep. And then, so you got 40, 50, 60 kids you can actually see at the front of the stage as a lead singer. 40, 50, 60 kids in your little pocket, and when they're screaming or singing your lyrics back to you that you wrote in your bedroom as a teenager, yep, that's a euphoric feeling. That is a shot of serotonin and adrenaline and all of the fucking stimulants, your natural fucking stimulants and the endorphins and all that shit, dude. And you get high, and it's a drug, and it's an addictive drug. And once you are able to grow past the idea that that's your identity, and because you get withdrawals from it, right? Remember, when it faded away for a little bit of time, and then you'd come back. Maybe your band, you lost a guitar player, and you're out for 8 months, and you're like having fucking withdrawals, and it's like a drug, right? So you get back out there, and you get it, and you're like, oh, I feel good again, and it's like now you're building your identity exclusively on that fanfare. Not maybe you specifically, but this is what we're talking about in general here, yep, right? So yes, it's growing older and maturing, but I also think like you have kids now,
right?
Like you've got a whole life, and you realize like you'll never be able to give up music. And this is the difference. This is what I'm getting to with my long-winded spiel here. This is the difference, is there comes a time where you come back full circle to the same reason you did it when you were 12, which is like, I do this because I love the music.
Right. Exactly.
And we say we don't do it for the money, which is technically true. However, we need to stop running away from money as an industry here locally.
Right.
Like guys say it like it's cool. Like I'm not in it for the money, man. It's like, I get it. You want to be an artist, dude. But like, come on. If you could make $100,000 a year playing your music,
yep,
are you really going to tell me you'd pass that up and be a plumber or whatever fucking bullshit job you want, maybe an IT guy, whatever, right? And you're going to be happier doing that?
Right.
Get the fuck out of here,
right,
dude. Get the
you're
fuck
gonna,
out of here.
You're obviously going to want to create with it. And it's an interesting side of things because, I mean, you have to kind of evolve. I mean, the music industry has been so fucking crazy business-wise. And
you can still make money in the music industry.
You can. It's just a whole different ballgame as far as going about it or whatever. So I guess, personally speaking, that's nice and everything. And, I spent a ton of years in the old way of doing things. with running the business for Black Flood, right? And I mean, just to be perfectly honest, right now, moving forward, like I have zero interest in fucking ever being the point man for doing that shit ever again. Okay.
I'm grabbing a do you want one?
Yeah. Sure. Thank you. So it's a whole nother thing. It's very draining. Don't do
the whole thing because I understand what you mean being a point man. So here's what you got to do is you got to hook up. You got to hook up with a group of dudes where you may not be the point man.
Right.
Because I know what you mean by that. Like, you basically did it. And one of the reasons for that is you had to shoulder that burden because you were the only constant in that band.
Correct, yeah.
Every other member of that band eventually came and left.
Right. So, I mean, for the first few years of it.
Fuck, how many people, have you ever made a list?
I have in the past.
How many people did you have in that band total over its run? Because it's still technically not dead, no matter what you say.
Right, it's there.
It'll never die.
And we'll, like, we talked about doing a reunion show, and because it's a 20th anniversary of the first release this year, and so, but then the COVID hit and whatever, it'll pop back up, you know. So that is just kind of what it is. That the whole Diesel thing kind of has turned into, like it or not, that's just a part of who I am because of how much time was put into it and how much the stories and the fucking story of the band and everything about it in this city. I mean, I like to think that, you know, no matter what, that band was, you know, an integral piece of a part of Minneapolis music history when it comes to a sound, you know?
We should find some money. I don't know how much it would cost.
Yep.
15 grand, 25 grand, whatever.
Yep.
And find somebody to put together a short documentary about that band. Because it's not exaggerating when we talk about that band. How long was that band around? 20 years?
Yeah. So, yeah, it formed in 99. So it's been 21 years of, you know, activity.
You're fucking old.
Dude, I'm going to be fucking 42 this year, homie. 40. You see my fucking beard, dude? You see this? It's fucking white.
You look good, though.
It's fucking, no, thank you.
You look good, though. I mean, dude, that's the thing is, like, you guys at 40, and I'm at 35. I'm not too far behind you guys. Like, there's some of us that look really great, and then there's some of us that look like shit.
Right, and it's a real slippery slope on that one. You know, like, you kind of got to watch what you're doing a little bit, you know. So, you know, there's that, and then, you know, I haven't been shy about it in the past. I've lived a pretty fucking hard lifestyle for periods of time, and, you know, developed some demons from that. But, you know, as you get older, once you cut that,
what kind of demons, Craig?
Fucking bad ones, Jared. Very bad, and very dark, and fucking. We'll call them subterranean. Would be a good way to describe them, and they're still there. But you get rid of doing some of that stuff, and it's amazing how your body fills out even at a later age. It fills out to where you look healthy, you know. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, dude. I probably should drop fucking 20 or 30 pounds. But then I think about it, I'm like, well, when I did have 20 or 30 pounds off in the past, I looked fucking like I needed to eat a fucking cheeseburger. Right. So,
which is sexy when you're on stage.
Right.
And you're 20.
Right.
And girls are like, oh my God, he's so hot. It works.
Right.
Like, because I was anorexically skinny as well.
Yep.
But as you get older and your pecs sag a little bit, and when you lose that 15, 20 pounds and your stomach doesn't immediately and you got a little bit of extra skin, it doesn't look as good.
No,
it's not the same.
No, it's not the same. It's kind of chic to be a 25-year-old junkie, right? That can get away with it.
I used to say that. I used to say it's kind of the cool thing. It's like, you can get away with being a struggling musician up until 30 years old.
Right.
So here's the thing, 30, it's just pathetic.
At the age of 42, coming up here, well, I'm going to be 42 this year. At the age of 42, I think it's safe to say that it's not chic anymore to be a junkie.
Right.
That fucking needs to eat a cheeseburger. Like,
right.
That's not cool. All right. You know. Not the least of which of the reasons is that you have children that are in play that are getting older that, you know, whatever. I'm a fucking parent, dude.
Right.
You can't go about things that way.
Right.
You simply can't. And it's just interesting as how age goes by and how you look at music and it would be fun. I mean, that band, I want to say that the last list, and don't quote me on this number one, I want to say there's been like 21 different members of that band over the years.
That seems low.
Yeah, I mean,
that seems low, bro.
It's because
I'm pretty sure I can't name them, but I'm pretty sure I can remember 4 drummers by just on that one instrument.
Well, we had Eric Day, who was the original drummer, and then Trevor from 13 Step UFA played with us, and then Derek. So those 3 are the 3, because Derek played with us, and then Trevor, and then Derek back again. Eric, and then Eric's come back.
Okay, so it's just 3 guys.
So it's 3 guys, but what it's been is,
and one of them probably got fat, so I don't recognize him from the first time he was in the band.
Well, our original dude, he like whatever is like super fucking intelligent and like landed this crazy fucking job.
And you've had again, it's like
it's the guitar players.
You've had like 400 of them.
Like every one of them from here has been like.
I think I'm the only one who hasn't played guitar in BFD, and it was just because you didn't know I played guitar.
But it's early yet. Okay. I mean, you never know. So that's been kind of cool because it's, you got guys that you played shows with, and the music's not that complex, right? I mean, it's layered, and I'm proud of the songwriting, but
there was another thing that was going on in our scene is there was tiers. There was, and I don't know if you guys saw it this way because you were in it, right? But you guys were already a big band when I showed up.
Sure.
Okay. And the way I saw it, whether you guys want to admit this or agree with this or not, is fine. This is just what I saw from the outside.
Yep.
Is there was a clear class system. There was a clear pyramid, and Head Charge was at the top.
Yep.
And then that next rung was you guys, Stasia, and I'm probably forgetting a handful of bands in there. There's several.
Nuisance Crew did well for a while. Nuisance,
but yeah, and I can't remember which rung. When I first
Skywine is in there.
But I'm talking more on the metal side.
On the metal side of things.
Yeah, because here's where I'm going with this: is Head Charge would lose a member, and they would always steal either someone from your band. Or one of these other bands.
Yes.
And then there was another rung of bands right below you guys.
Yep.
Okay. So
then when I would lose a member to Head Charge, I would take
those
bands.
Right. And it was like there's a way to get there.
Right.
And it was like if you're just a musician, right? And it was so funny because you could almost predict who was going to be the next guitar player of Black Flood.
Right.
Or which member was going to go. So like it wasn't literal, but you know how like they have Deadpools and shit?
Yep.
Like from that silly movie, literally. It was almost like that. Like it was like, okay, if Head Charge loses a bass player, it's going to be so-and-so from this band. If they lose a guitar player, it's going to be so-and-so from Black Flood Diesel. If it's a drummer, it's going to be Dane from Stasia. And sure as shit, like most of the time we were right.
Sure.
Like it ended up being those guys. And it was just fucking, that must have driven you nuts, or at least it would have driven me nuts.
Well, here's the thing: is that I'd be lying if I said that it didn't, right? Because it did drive me nuts. But then, kind of the way that it is I learned a lot from those guys and about the industry and about how things work.
Yeah, because when I say stealing, it's not like they were fucking you guys over.
Well, no,
like we were all a family and a community,
right?
But there was this clear hierarchy of like how it worked.
And if a guy wants to leave to go fucking tour, I mean, who the fuck am I? I can be bummed out. And, obviously once it happens a couple of times, you're starting back over to a degree.
Sure.
With the chemistry piece of it. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's only natural for a person to be a little bit frustrated about that. Now, here's the interesting thing is that, well, as this is going and I'm learning how the industry works and the business side of things work, because that is part of the business side. A guy leaves one project that he's happy in for a better opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. That's a business decision and a creative decision, but it's a business decision too. So you're learning how that works. Well, I apply that because this is what I'm learning, right? Mm-hmm. Watching the most successful people do this, okay? Being a direct part of it and then adapting to it. Well, this happens a couple of times. I'm like, well, okay, yeah, this fucking blows, and and we're all friends. And while this is weird, if I can adapt to it and move forward, then I don't want to hear you bitch and moan when fucking your guy comes to go play with me, right? And it shouldn't be a problem. Well, it was a problem. I mean, it's been a problem in the past. I've had issues with people, that have gone on for years,
right?
Because
you stole their guitar player,
right? That's the way they look at it. Well, you stole my guitar player. I'm like, well, no, look, like my guitar player left to go fucking play in the biggest band that's come out of here in fucking decades, right? For metal, and I'm playing big shows on my own and playing with them.
I mean, you guys would headline First Avenue.
Yeah, fuck. I've headlined First Avenue probably 12, 13 times.
I mean, dude, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal, yeah.
Like, we act like it's not anything, because a lot of us have played First Avenue. So for us, it's not a big deal. But it's like fucking headlining the Whiskey.
Well, yeah, it's
not as big, but it's the biggest thing we got, and it's a legit music venue. It's one of the best in the country, period.
Yep.
And it's only fucking 1,500 people.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I'm most proud of in general.
It's the sight lines and the sound system. That's why First Ave is.
Dude, you're on.
Fuck the history. Ignore the history.
Right, yeah.
Let's just analyze the venue.
Yep.
Sight lines, sound.
Yep.
That's why it's great.
The on stage. And if you want to put it as a part of the club circuit, right? Even though it's a little different because it's your tour routing isn't typically routed through there. They have their own fucking system of booking bands in that room, right? So
yeah, it's a special place.
It's a special place, right?
It's literally like if you headline First Avenue, everyone in the country knows about you the next day.
Yep. So here's the thing. I played multiple.
And when I say everyone in the country, we're talking everyone in the business that does booking. Yep. Like, oh, who's this? Never heard of these guys. Well, they just last night they just headlined First Avenue. Let me take a listen.
Right.
And you get phone calls just from doing that.
Yep. So I've played multiple House of Blues venues in the country. Right. Played Harpo's in Detroit, which is a fucking legendary Detroit rock club. Huge.
House of Blues is fucking weird because it is not set up as an actual music venue. It is set up as a fucking restaurant.
It's definitely. I mean, it sounds great.
But it's a hybrid and it's a restaurant first.
Sure, and
as far as their venues are set up, I don't like them. I don't fucking like them.
I mean,
they remind me of a Famous Dave's.
Oh yeah, no, I can see that. That's not a bad analogy, actually. I totally can see it because they have them all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
go get some fucking chicken wings,
dude. And there's literally people like you can sit there and eat food next to the stage while you're watching people play music.
Right,
and it's like, dude, is this a comedy club or is this a fucking music venue or is this a restaurant? I can't tell.
The next closest place to First Avenue.
They do sound good, though.
They sound good, but First Avenue sounds better. And what it is for me, and the next closest place I would say to First Avenue up in that level is the Rave in Milwaukee.
No shit, not the Whiskey.
I've never played. I've never played out there. I've never played L.A.
Really?
Yeah, I've never played the Whiskey. Never played L.A. I don't think over the years. So. Yeah, First Avenue on stage. The best way that I try to explain to people is you're on stage. The monitor mix, right, and the monitor wash that you get from the monitor guy, right? Typically speaking, 99 times out of 100 sounds nothing like what's out front in the room, right? It's giving you It's giving you what you need, and it sounds like whatever, but you're not hearing how the audience is hearing you, right?
Correct.
Like, how many times have you played shows and you've thought it was great? Or you've thought it was shit, but then you hear the fucking room mix, right? And it's like, holy fuck.
Well, I almost never get a good room mix. Like, rarely have I ever heard an actual good room mix recording of my own band.
Yep.
But I've gotten off stage and just been like, fuck. And they're like, what's wrong? And I was like, it sounded like shit. And they were like, dude, it sounded great.
Right.
And it's like, well, that makes sense because the front of house guy is also rarely the same as the
monitor guy. Well, and then also it's just the simple technical fucking aspect of things where the shit that they're pumping out into the room, that's what they spend their money on.
Right.
The monitor mix in a fucking small club, typically speaking, I mean, the monitors, they don't have as much juice.
Even in a big club.
Yeah, they don't have as much juice, and it's not designed to be that way. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to fucking blast it on stage like they do that, whatever. You can't do that. So the perception of what you think you're doing on stage to what they're actually hearing, way different. Now, in First Avenue, it's the only club that I've ever played in where when I'm on stage, I feel like I am listening to, and if I take myself out of body a little bit, watching myself from the audience's perspective, because the monitor mix is that fucking good.
So do you think that's their system or the tech skill level, or is it because it's a standard at a certain...
I think it's a combination of all of them. I mean, the guys that work there...
Like, once a venue gets a certain level of credibility, it's because they're doing that?
Well,
or is it something exclusive to First Ave?
There's that. I mean, and I don't know dick shit about the fucking gear that they have there or whatever.
Yeah, neither one of us are sound guys.
Yeah, I mean, I
know enough.
So, I mean, I know it sounds great. Now, I would say, a part of that has to be the quality of the gear. The other part is the techs that they have, like the monitor guy that fucking works monitors there. It is better than the majority of the sound guys that you'll run into at other clubs around here, right? As far as
there's very few like great sound guys, and when you finally play with one, it matters.
Right, you take them with everyone.
Yeah, you're like, dude, how do we get you to run sound everywhere for us?
Yep, and there's been a handful of instances.
Dude from fucking Station 4 was one of those guys too. Long hair,
Joe Spanbauer?
No, not fucking Joe.
Not Joe. Long hair.
Joe's a great sound guy, but he was also going deaf towards the end. So
are you talking about from way back in the day?
No, dude from Station 4. Fuck, I can't remember his name. I always forget this guy's name. No, fucking. It's like Anthony or some shit.
Okay. Yeah. With the curly hair?
Yeah.
Anthony, yep. Yeah. For sure.
He was fucking awesome, too.
Yeah.
I think he actually, like, did shit at First Ave.
I don't know where he's worked, but I know I've seen him pop up, whether it shows that I've been going to, that some of the homies have been playing, or, I want to say he was at Lee's Liquor Lounge when we played there once. Either way, he's popped up at a couple different places that I've seen him at. So, the other piece of it, too, with First Avenue is that, and it goes overlooked, even though it's like the most fundamental fucking piece of a live experience, the room itself.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, the sight lines.
Just the sound, how the sound bounces through the room, right?
I suppose, yeah, that's literally a big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal, and a lot of people don't think
the natural organic acoustics. And that was not originally a music venue. It was actually an actual depot for
fucking bus depot, right?
I think it was for the old fucking train car system we had.
Okay.
We used to have a trolley system downtown.
Here in Minneapolis?
Yeah, fucking dude, it's a whole conspiracy. So like,
they used to have a trolley?
I swear to God, dude, a trolley train system, and it's a conspiracy thing where somehow, some way, somebody convinced the city it would be better if they abandoned that system and got a private company to do it, and that was the birth of like Metro MTC, Metro Transit.
Okay, yep.
Whatever. Yeah, MTC, right?
Metro Transit. Yeah, yep.
What is the C? Doesn't matter. Anyways, fuck, dude, I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, and so if you go down to like, where's that fucking? Is it the Stone Arch Bridge? Down by fucking where they got that goofy movie theater off the river. They got the fucking cobblestone roads down there and shit.
No, I don't.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, it's St. Anthony.
Yeah, the St. Anthony main area.
Yep.
Okay. If you go down there,
I saw the Blair Witch Project there.
Yeah, if you go down there, they got the cobblestone roads.
Yep.
And if you follow one of those roads down, you will fucking all of a sudden there's a set of train tracks in the middle of the street, running the street, not across it. It's not an old train intersection.
Yep.
It's from the trolley system.
Okay.
And they just paved over it, so it's technically still there. The tracks at least were. Yeah, dude, it was a whole. It's one of those weird, goofy Minneapolis history things where it was like, because everybody knows anybody from the Twin Cities knows our Metro Transit system is fucked. It's arguably the worst in the country.
It's so inefficient.
It's the worst. Yeah. It's so bad. Like somewhere you can drive in literally 20 minutes.
No. You're on the bus for a fucking hour and 45 minutes with two transfers.
At least.
Yeah. With two transfers. Now, here's the fucking crazy thing, man, is I live down south now, right? Lakeville area, but I lived in Burnsville for a while, and I worked downtown. Now, you get in the city and you got to take 3 fucking transfers. You're all the way out in Burnsville. All I had to do was catch the bus in Burnsville, and it got me there quicker than the cars would get there with no transfers.
Right.
So you get outside of the city that the bus and the public transportation really is designed to serve, right? And the suburbs are an outlying area. The efficiency of the transportation in the city is so much worse
it's bad.
than fucking going out to the suburbs. It's like,
bad.
wait a minute. Okay, what fucking sense does that make?
Yeah, you can make it on the light rail. Like, you can make it from Anoka, which is like a fucking 45-minute drive.
Right.
In 10 minutes on the light rail or some crazy shit, because it can go that fast. But then it'll take you 40 minutes to go 3 miles through downtown to get off. And it's like, it just, even when they brought the fucking train system back, they still fucked that up.
Right.
And it's like the leadership in this city specifically, but really it's the Twin Cities in its entirety, but specifically Minneapolis. They are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like,
I've really lost a lot of faith in this fucking city. Just with all what's happened over the past year. In general, it's like, take political beliefs aside. The way that fucking this place handles its business is a fucking embarrassment in some ways, in a lot of ways.
It is.
And it's gotten to the point to
tragedy.
Yeah, no, it is, because there's so many educated people and there's money here, okay? And yes, there were problems, right? But everything is contained, and for the most part, you could go out and do whatever and feel safe with it.
Right.
The second that there were fucking actual problems going on, this place fucking caved. I mean, there was it's like, holy fuck, nobody knew what to fucking do. All the people who were so, I know a handful of people who fucking were so, fuck the police and fuck this shit, fuck that, whatever. Night 3, they're begging for the National Guard to come in. You know what I mean? It's like, oh fucking shit. That's interesting how that just fucking changed, right? And it still hasn't recovered from it. And the mayor, I mean,
we have the worst mayor in the country, I think. I don't know if he's the worst in the country, because Chicago, where you're from, that bitch ain't
she's awful, and
she did some really egregious shit. Like, she was like campaigning on like defunding the police and no blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden when the rioters came to her area, she had a bunch of people arrested.
Right.
And it was just like classic talking out of one side of your mouth. And it was just, it was so egregious. It was so obvious, and I think that
they don't like her a lot. They don't like her. I got a bunch of friends down there, obviously, because it's where I'm from, and there's a lot of people I know that fucking cannot stand her. The governor of Illinois, Pritzker, I think his name is fucking. They don't like him.
Yeah, people are hating on Walz pretty hard, and
I think he's kind of a dipshit, but I mean, he's also been put in a place where it's like, dude, you're fucking damned if you do and you're damned if you don't,
Yeah, it's just, I feel like
there's no balls. There's no balls to be a leader. It didn't seem like.
And there was clearly going to be unintended consequences by all of the shit on the shutdown, because of the ripple effect. Is what pisses me off about Walz is that he hasn't done anything to manage those ripples.
Right.
Like, I don't even want to get into it, dude. It'll be its whole own. Well, I might as well. I mean, fuck, dude. Like, for example, he shut down. I guess this is the point of the podcast, right?
Right.
I'm thinking we're like sitting here in a bar, and there's fucking
This
is what people actually tune into this shit for.
Right.
So basically, here's one of the biggest issues I have is he shut down the actual government to a minimal work staff and office space and shit for COVID concerns.
Sure.
Fine, fair, makes sense. However, now, if you wanted to go, let's say today you just passed your conceal and carry permit because everyone is talking about defunding the police, right?
Right.
But crime is rising through the roof. So if you just got your cert today and you wanted to go submit it, normally you would just go down there. You might have to hang out for 2 to 4 hours,
right,
especially in a time like now with fucking everything that's going on. Fuck COVID, just the George Floyd riots, right?
Right.
Like it's still insanity.
Right.
Fuck, you might even have to go down there at 8 in the morning and not actually see somebody till 4. It could be that busy.
Right.
Long story short, now you have to make an appointment.
Right.
Seems reasonable. Especially because they do them like every 15 minutes or something like that. Or
Seems reasonable.
Every 20 minutes or something like that.
Seems reasonable.
If you called today, I guarantee you will not be able to get an appointment before November. Like, it won't happen. They'll be like, and then here's the point. Then the government, the federal government or the state government, whoever it is, state government through a federal background check, takes 30 days to approve and give you your permit.
Right.
So now your constitutional right to carry a weapon in the state of Minnesota is passively being infringed on through process.
Sure.
It is an unreasonable process now to go through, and it's an unreasonable amount of time to wait, especially with the fucking elections right around the corner.
Right.
So I'm saying, let's see, if you're lucky, you get an appointment for November 1st. I don't know what day of the week that is. It doesn't matter. Let's say it's a Monday. At best, you're getting your permit December 1st.
Right.
A month after the elections.
Right. Yeah, it's a shit show, and with the whole,
they're talking about mail-in voting. They're talking about but hold on. They're talking about mail-in voting. They're talking about online voting. They're talking about all these ways to figure out how to vote, but they won't do anything to allow us to exercise these very simple rights, which is like file fucking paperwork. How come I can't do that online? Well, we got to see a picture of you. Okay. Everyone has a webcam now because they're all working from home. Let me take a picture of myself. Let me send it. There's a way to do this. Or just open up more offices.
Right.
You know, open up or allow the counties to do it again at every level. So you can just go back to any county, right? Like, and I get it. It's like, oh, we don't want to shift the workload from fucking Minneapolis and overburden all these suburbs. But it's like, dude, here's the thing is like, it's way more important that we allow us to file our paperwork legally than it is we don't overburden some local sheriff's office in Owatonna. Too bad, dude. Like, sorry,
I mean,
man.
This is gonna sound fucked up, but it's the truth. And with what I've been thinking lately, is this whole shit show that the virus has brought on when it comes to exposing the systemic problems that we have, right, in government and in the layering system and the states versus the federal government. I can understand why countries would be supportive of a fucking dictatorship or an autocracy, because at least there's one thing that everybody has to do. There isn't this fucking like interpretation that just leads to a complete fucking shit show.
The only way it works, the only way democracy works, is when no matter how much we argue amongst these little things, we have one unified front on this, because we have a unified enemy. What we need, the best thing for America right now, is we need China to invade us. And then everybody's at war with the Chinese. None of that other shit matters anymore. You know what I mean? Like when everybody's out there fucking, like when it goes full Red Dawn, because like the remake of Red Dawn, it was the Chinese government.
Yeah.
There's another conspiracy for you. I don't know if you know about that, but China, after Red Dawn was already made, they put so much pressure on the movie studio, the Chinese government, that the movie studio caved and removed all references to China and replaced them with North Korea. So now in Red Dawn, it's not the Chinese who invaded us, it's North Korea. But
what?
The remake. But it's really China. It's really China. Yeah, but dude, it's fucking wild, dude. But
that's fucking funny.
That's
funny.
That's how democracy gets saved in America. Other than that, if we don't get a unified enemy on some sort of war front, like a literal war front, like no more war on terrorism and shit, like that didn't work. That didn't unify everybody.
No,
that's not a real war. That's fighting a war over there. Somebody's got to actually invade us and try to come here.
Well, right.
It's got to either be aliens, subterranean demons.
Yep. right. Which I'm more than willing to share.
Nice. Yeah. I set you up for that one. You spiked it up.
I am more than willing to share them with people.
Or
or
the entirety of the Chinese military, which is like something like close to 1 billion people. They in their conscription.
Yep.
Like I think they only have 100 million or something, but that's still a lot, man.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we even have 20 million people in our armed services. Like we don't have. So it's going to be, if we don't get something like that, like an alien invasion or something crazy, we're going to a civil war, dude. Like, it's inevitable now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's
inevitable, dude, because it doesn't matter who's in charge right now. Shit is so fucked that
you got two sides that don't like each other.
And everybody hates everyone else.
Yep.
Right? Like, politically speaking right now. So it's like, oh, fucking fuck Trump, but fuck Biden. And it's like, okay, so you're going to be pissed. That guy, me, right, and most of America is going to be pissed no matter who's in office.
Right.
So this election is not going to make anything better. And I can take that analogy and go all the way down the chain.
Yep.
Like, you know why Mayor Frey is in? Is because he was less shitty than the other guy. So if Frey wasn't in office, that other asshole would be way worse. Right?
A good buddy of mine that I've known for years, is huge on this.
Like Ilhan Omar, people are like, she sucks, right? She sucks, right? Everyone's like, oh, Ilhan. And I'm not saying you agree with this. Right? I'm not putting words in your mouth. Yep. I'm not even saying she sucks. I'm saying here's the rhetoric. Is people say Ilhan Omar sucks.
Yep.
Oh, she's the worst. Okay, why? Well, because she's a socialist. Okay, the guy that ran against her was basically openly saying he's a communist.
Sure.
He's like a progressive Democrat that was in favor of so much crazy left-wing progressive shit.
Right.
He was running against Ilhan Omar because she wasn't progressive enough. And it's like, okay, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why she won, is because there was nobody reasonable on a Republican or Libertarian or Green Party or Independent that was running against these people. The people that are running against them are far worse than the people that are winning. And that's why we have incompetent leaders, is because the only people running for office are incompetent. Anybody with a fucking brain goes, I can do way more if I stay out of politics. That's why Elon Musk will never go in. That's why The Rock will never go in. You know what I mean? It's like Donald Trump, I don't understand why he even got into politics.
It's because well, you know, okay, there's a really good documentary.
He's got to be an idiot just for getting in.
Yeah,
based on my current theory I just presented. Donald Trump is an idiot because he simply ran.
Well, you know his history.
I'm painting it with a very broad brush right now.
his history, right, where he back in the 80s, right. There's a really good like multiple part documentary series on Netflix about him.
I've seen a few of them.
Yep, and in the 80s, there was, I want to say it was in Maine. It was Maine or New Hampshire. No, it was New Hampshire. It was New Hampshire because they run one of the early primaries. There was a guy in New Hampshire, and they show him on one of the episodes where he started the Donald Trump for president, like backing, right? Has the old flyers, right? And
I think you're talking about Roger Stone, one of the biggest creeps on the planet.
No, not that dude. It's just some random guy, right? Just some random guy in New Hampshire who believed in Donald Trump and like this business dealings and like fucking whatever. It was like Donald Trump's the fucking man, right? So he petitioned Donald Trump. He's like, he got some other people on board and headed up like this committee to get Donald Trump to run for president. And fucking Donald Trump flew his plane out to New Hampshire and spoke to people in New Hampshire. So there was speculation about him running back in like the 80s, probably because he's just a power hungry fuck, you know?
But I think it was good for his brand. I think it was good for his buzz.
Yep. So it never happened. I personally think that the reason he decided to actually do it, and the reason that he probably pulled out all the stops to win, is because Obama just flamed through him at that fucking dinner that he was.
I agree.
Yeah, and that's why he did it. It's not before then. I think you could probably make a case for him being on the fence and he's happy in The Apprentice or whatever, and he was vocal about the whole birther thing, whatever, right? Well, Obama makes the decision to fucking start a fucking war with him, and he probably didn't think he was doing it at the time, but Donald Trump is so fucking crazy that's all it took was, well, now I'm in a war, you know? Because Obama,
I'm going to see if I can, because some people don't know what we're talking about right now.
And at the end of this, he's like, the one difference between me and Donald Trump is that there's one person who can say that they're president. And like, it was like a fucking roast on him.
I think his exact words were, hold on, let me get this paused. Shut up, bitch. I think the, oh my God, shut up, bitch. I think the exact words were, say what you will about me, but there's one thing I am that you'll never be. president.
Right. Exactly. And so,
and then the camera turns. It doesn't turn. It cuts, and it. I don't remember if it zoomed in. It felt like it even zoomed in, and the look on Donald Trump's face was like, "All right, motherfucker."
Right.
Like, it was one of those things where it was like you said, you started a war.
Yep.
Like, all of this was fun and games.
Right.
And then you said that, and he was like,
you didn't have to.
People have been trying to convince me to run for 10, 20 years.
Yep.
Now you brought my ego into it.
Yep.
This was all fun and games.
Right.
Until that happened.
Right.
And I'm going to see if this is the actual clip.
I mean, I think that's why
I'm pretty sure this is.
You know what I mean?
I'm almost 100% convinced that if you're trying to go back with a time machine and you're going to stop 4 things from happening, right? These are the top 4 or the top 3 is everyone goes Abraham Lincoln, you stop what's his fuck, right? You stop, you kill baby Hitler, and then you stop JFK, right? Those are the 3 everybody goes to.
Right.
If there's going to be a 4th one, it's going to be you assassinate Obama for making this state before he can make this statement, before he finishes this sentence. You have to take out this president, because this president caused Trump. That's you have to have a time machine in order to make that happen. If you don't have a time machine and you can't do that, Trump becomes president, because this might be the actual moment.
It makes me wonder if like and I chuckle about it, right? If like some nights when it's just him and Michelle laying in bed, and let's just say maybe they're smoking a joint or some shit, whatever, they're chilling, right? And it makes me wonder if she's like, baby, you know I fucking love you, but god damn it, why the fuck did you say that? And he's like, I know, you know, I usually play things cool, and I probably should have fucking kept my mouth shut. And if Michelle's like, you know, you are the smartest man I've ever met, but you were one dumb motherfucker when you fucking did that shit. And if they're sitting there like, and you know what I mean? Like that type of dialogue, it would not shock me in the slightest if that conversation has happened while they're in bed, half naked, smoking a joint or whatever.
Okay, they definitely can't hear this yet. Definitely they can't hear it yet. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure I got this set up.
And he's just got that look at his face like he's about ready to fucking...
There we go. This should work now.
Yeah, this is something else.
This should be working. Yep, there we go. We got sound.
Attention span. Well, I was going to reply to that.
But okay, I don't know why it's going to something fucking from 1988, but the audio's working, so hold on. I'll bring it back here in a second. I'm going to get off of it. I'll find it. This shit. Oh, this was such a bad idea. Like,
was this the night Trump decided to run? There we go.
Oh,
there we go. Right there.
This is it.
Right there.
CNN. Hopefully, I don't get flagged for this. I don't think I'll get flagged for CNN on a president's video. What the fuck's going on here? Oh, I'll definitely get flagged for that. Hold on.
You're right there. Multiple news outlets have suggested.
Hold on. I'm just going to go to videos. I'm terrible at Googling. This is why I need a producer, dude. This
there
is
it is. Watch Obama dig into Trump.
5 minutes. I don't know.
It's 5 minutes.
Here, I'll skim through it. We'll find it. We'll pull it up. Because, yeah, I think this is it. Like, this was such a bad idea.
It was a terrible idea. What was he thinking?
He was thinking a lot of things, dude.
Right. Here.
Be here at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
There we go.
This is some funny shit, dude.
As some of you heard, the state of Hawaii released my official long-form birth certificate.
Well, there he is.
Hopefully, this puts all doubts to rest. But just in case there are any lingering questions, tonight, I'm prepared to go a step further. Tonight, for the first time, I am releasing my official birth video.
Get the fuck out of here.
He was funny, dude.
Yeah, no, he was.
He was cool.
He is a smooth motherfucker, man.
Oh, shit. He plays fucking... He played Lion King, that motherfucker. I'm glad I decided to skip because that would have got me flagged. Disney would have hit me for that one.
That was not my real birth video.
We gotta.
Someone should get.
I think that was it.
Happier. No one is prouder.
I think this is it
Put
right
this
here.
birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald.
There it is.
And that's because he can finally get back to focusing
Oh, Jesus
on the
Christ.
issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing?
Look at him. Oh, man.
Not laughing.
No.
What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
He does not appreciate
No,
this.
not at all.
And you got to understand, Donald Trump got
All kidding
roasted
aside,
for
obviously,
real.
We all know
Yep.
about your credentials and breadth of experience.
Oh,
For
Jesus.
example,
Uh-oh.
no, seriously, just recently in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice
Oh, God.
at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey.
Oh, hell no, dude.
And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night.
So it's so rough.
Yeah.
It's so awkward. Did you ever see when
Well
he...
handled, sir. Well handled.
You waved at him? That's so awkward.
Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House.
Oh.
Let's see what we've got up there.
I remember this.
Oh, no. Oh, he's just fuming.
That's actually pretty funny. Oh, they skipped it. Oh, dirty.
Yep.
Dirty. I bet you President Trump made him do that. So we went through all that for nothing. So he ends that by saying, say what you will, Donald. I'm one thing I am that you'll never be is president of the United States. And the fucking crowd goes wild.
Yep.
Like they cheer him. And the look on that face, what we had was nothing.
No, right. So I think, I mean,
Obama was a fucking funny
no,
president.
he was funny. And so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be a number of different reasons, and the guy's an egomaniac, whatever. That right there was
the moment.
That
dude.
was the moment. That was the straw that broke the back.
Have you ever seen this? When he fucking got Keegan Michael Key to be his anger management translator.
No.
Which is they PC'd this up. It's his black translator.
Okay. Yep.
It's fucking hilarious, dude. I'm not gonna play it on the podcast. But I'll show it so they can fucking see what the fuck I'm talking about. This is goddamn hilarious. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, watch this clip right here. This one. This shit is fucking
Honestly,
funny.
what
It's
they
the
say
same.
doesn't bother me.
It's the
Actually, we've
same
got
dinner,
nothing
just
to
not the
say.
same year.
I'm a
But yeah, we can't play this. I'll definitely get pulled for that one. But you gotta check that one out, dude, because that one's fucking hilarious, man. And that's the thing, dude. Is like, say what you will about his policies. I fucking kind of hated Obama towards the end. I voted for him the first time, but by the time he left office, man, I kind of fucking hated him, bro. And,
Right.
But I still miss him because he was funny, he was articulate, and he didn't make us all look like idiots.
Oh, he's very smooth.
Yeah, he was
very-
smooth.
very smooth.
Exactly. He
Very
was
smooth.
fucking smooth. And he was the exact perfect diplomat for America.
Right.
Like, because he wasn't like John McCain, like war hawk, old white dude, fucking speaking with his shoulders. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, he wasn't fucking George Bush, who made us sound like literal buffoons towards the end.
Right.
Same thing with fucking with Trump. Biden's going to be so much worse. Biden will make us look like the most incompetent nation on the planet because he can't say what you will about Obama about Trump. Trump, he speaks like New York. Really, it's almost like in code. Like I can translate Trump. Like I can speak Trump.
Right.
So when he says something, I know what he means by it.
Right.
So many people in the country are like, "What the fuck did he just say?"
Right.
What an idiot. And I'm like, I get what he's saying.
Well, no, totally. And that's a big disconnect that
You know what I mean?
a lot of people because
But you can't do that with Biden.
well,
that's what I'm getting
no,
at.
that's the thing is that
Biden
Trump
can't finish a sentence.
Trump says a lot of shit, right? And I'm not making any defense for fucking the buffoonery that comes out of his mouth a lot of the time. But I do think the other side of that coin is that as a country, people have maybe taken some of the stuff that he says too seriously. You know what I mean? Like the guy's an entertainer, right? And
I'm playing this. I don't care if I get flagged. I'm playing this.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. It's just,
what is going on?
I mean, think about it. More lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years.
What?
What? 1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happened?
What?
I don't know. I don't understand.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down.
What?
So it was
He didn't say this, did he?
Yes,
is this real?
This is real.
Again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches.
What?
I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
What?
Oh.
This is real.
All I'm saying is somebody holler at me when they see a Biden for president sign in somebody's yard. I seen one in my whole hood, and I'm in a blue state, in a blue county, in a blue town. Ain't nobody voting for that motherfucker, man.
Oh, God.
There's so many more of these, dude. I played that one because it's a minute long, right? Like, dude, that is Biden in a nutshell, and it's actually gotten significantly worse.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even including like the racist shit he said.
Right.
Like, dude,
I can't see him. I mean,
worst.
the debates coming up. I don't see how he stands a chance on those things, dude. I mean, those things go for a couple hours, right?
I think.
I mean, and it's moderated, so
I think they're gonna feed him the questions, and he's gonna have pre-written answers that he's gonna read.
That's the only way he can get through it.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. I think
And then Donald Trump's just going to sit there and unload on him for 2 hours. That's just what it's going to be. He's going to relentlessly unload on him, and it's not even going to be about Trump's policies or whatever. He's just going to turn it into a mudslinging festival,
dude. And I said this, dude, the day after fucking. Maybe not the day after, but shortly after Trump won the first time, I remember thinking, I was like, man, if you thought the 2016 election was a soap opera, 2020 is going to be full-on WWE, fucking Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. Like, it's going to be over the top. It's going to be insane.
Have you seen the commercials that are being aired now? Right? The Trump campaign commercials up here? They're like,
I don't really watch much TV.
No, they go, your city, it like, paraphrase, your Minnesota, Minneapolis, your city was burning for 3 days. And Joe Biden took a knee, and they showed Joe Biden taking a knee. And they're like, is that the type of leadership that you want with Ilhan Omar watching these people burn down your city? And then they show a helicopter flying, and they're like, Donald Trump has offered his services, and we'll take care of it. And he gets off the helicopter and salutes, and they show him all proud with his hair back.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you at all. I'm not kidding.
This is real?
No, this is real. And they're on all the time because he's dumping a bunch of money because there is speculation that this state could turn red.
I think he might. This is what I'm trying to brace people for. I'm like, dude, Donald Trump might be the first politician in modern history to get Minnesota
Dude,
to flip red.
Have you been? You don't have to go that far out of the metro area, north or south. Okay, and
he almost won Minnesota against Hillary.
Right, and outside of the metro area, I will tell you what it is. And I've seen a bunch of the state of Minnesota over the last month or two. It is mind blowing how many fucking Trump flags and Trump vehicles and Trump everything
I'm gonna show you something
is in Minnesota.
I don't think you've seen this.
Once you get out of the metro area, I'm just like, whoa, dude, this is... People got more than what they think they're going to fucking be bargaining for.
Let's see if I can find this. Trump, Clinton, 2016. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, no, I want this one. I'm going to try to get it bigger on the screen so I can... So this is... Oh, fuck you.
You pull that bullshit. It's the Washington Post.
Fucking WAPO.
I fucking hate that.
Well, I can just show this.
Yeah.
Like, this works. So this... If you look, like, all the major cities voted blue.
Yep.
And everyone else voted red.
Right.
Like, and this is how this is how she took Minnesota, which was the Twin Cities.
Yep.
And Duluth.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
She took the whole fucking state because of this little area right here.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing. Like, she kind of slammed California, but most of the time for presidents, they're more unified than this. Same thing, the whole country. Like, it's usually bigger pockets. If you go look at, I'm not going to pull them all up and go through fucking history on this, but if you look at other maps in presidential elections, they're similar to this, but presidents capture entire regions.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you'll see, like, this red circle in the middle of Florida, and it's like, what the fuck's up with those guys? The whole fucking state voted this time. You know, maybe that's a terrible example because that's a swing state, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it was bizarre because this is unique, and this is actually a really shitty version of this map. But yeah, dude, like, people don't understand. She barely won Minnesota.
Right.
She lost Michigan. Like, I watched the fucking End of the World podcast with Rogan at the Comedy Store with a bunch of comedians and shit.
Yeah.
And they were doing live commentary as the results came in.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious, dude. And it really did basically come down to fucking Pennsylvania and Michigan and, like, Alaska, believe it or not. Those last three from Alaska. Like,
yeah.
It was insane how close it was.
There's so much time left between now and November. I mean,
look at that.
It's, yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm not looking forward to it.
This is a really interesting map.
I'm not looking forward to this whole fucking thing one bit, you know?
No, it's going to be fucking chaos.
It's going to be horrible.
And it's not going to matter where you live either. That's the thing is people are like, oh man, I'm getting out of the city. It's like,
right.
That's what everyone's going to do. So you're literally running to the same place everyone who's panicking is running.
Right.
That's not where I want to be.
Right. I just, you know, for me, it's like, I don't know. I do want to get out of Minnesota because just the way that fucking things have been handled here.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
It's not, I don't, and I'm not from here either. That's the other piece of it too.
The winter will always get rid of the weak people.
No, for sure. I'm just talking about the climate in general, right? I have a hard time being around a bunch of people who fancy themselves extremely intelligent and are very opinionative, but don't have the life experience to back up said opinion. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I would rather you have less facts and less fucking data on your side,
right,
and more life experience talking about, even if there's no factual basis for what you're saying, if you've been through life,
right, even anecdotal shit.
Correct. I have a much easier time relating to and taking those people seriously than somebody who has their fucking master's degree, right? That doesn't use their master's degree.
Right.
Okay. And is educated and is well spoken, and what they're saying on the surface makes sense, but they have no fucking clue how to pull it off, right? I can't take that seriously. And my experiences here, and this isn't a personal shot at anybody in particular.
Just the entire city of Minneapolis.
Yeah, just the climate of it is. Right. I'm just carpet bombing the entire city.
I'm not attacking anyone specifically here.
Right.
I'm broad stroking your entire city.
Right. Exactly. And then saying that I want to move, even though I'm not from here. So that's gonna go fucking over great with people that are from here. Anyways, that's just kind of it.
Purists, we don't want you anyways.
Right. And I do, and I love the people, and I love my fucking friends, and I love how the city's embraced me in many ways.
But the reason it was great is because there was no crime.
Well, there was no crime, and you know what?
When we say no crime, we're meaning like relatively compared to anywhere else in the country, even in North Minneapolis, there's like no crime.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And part of why I fell in love with this place to begin with was, circling back to the whole music scene side of things, right? I think if you look at it from a lens, a little further away, it all plays together, right? Like the reason that a music scene like you and I were a part of was allowed to swell was a certain level of naivety by people as to how the business actually works. And they didn't have those external factors that they had to focus all their energy on growing up. You could feel safe growing up, and you could invest your energy and your emotion into something like art, right?
True.
So that's not the way that it is in many big cities, right? Which is why you'll see in a lot of big cities, they struggle to get a music scene off of the fucking ground. Chicago, very weak music. I know some great bands that are from there. I'm friends with great musicians from there that have had good runs out of there. Overall, from a musical, like a scene perspective, not big at all, right? Vegas, not big at all. Obviously, there's a lot of people that come in there for tourists, that are tourists, right? But it is a city. No music scene there. LA, the music scene, well, you got to dial it back to the fucking 80s, okay? Nowadays, you never really hear of an LA music scene. Right. Do you hear of a fucking New York music scene? Well, CBGB's, the punk scene. It's the bigger. I have this little theory that the more real world the issues are, the less people have energy to invest into something that's not really real world. Right? Like art is an expression of what's occurring in the world. Right?
Yeah, but some of the best artists in music is born from people in cultures of suffering. For sure. I'm not saying that, right? I absolutely 1,000%. What I'm saying is developing. I'm not talking about the artists per se coming from the city. I'm talking about the communal support from the people that you need to prop up a music scene, right? You need fan support. You need money coming in. You need them to invest their time outside of it to do your promotion, whether they're knowingly doing it or not, right? Talking about you. Oh, okay.
In order to invest your energy and your time and your emotion into something like that, what that tells me logically is that the other things in your life that would be more direct threat to your survival, to your happiness, are handled because you can invest your energy into something that really is a luxury. Okay. Mm-hmm. Art's a form of expression, and I believe it's a necessity for somebody to be healthy. But okay, you could be in a fucking world where everybody's unhealthy and they're fucking still surviving, and everybody's losing their fucking marbles, right? I think we're seeing that to a degree because art is not, we have so many more problems. Art has taken a back seat. Right?
Well, yeah, because we're also not allowed to do it. We're not allowed to go up and be on stage.
Well, right. There's that too. And I mean, I think
it's like, it'd be one thing if we were all sitting here writing music and it's like, well, fuck, man, the world's fucking burning down. But you know what? Everybody's losing their mind. Let's fucking, dude, you know what? Let's go find a fucking sweet little bar.
Yep.
Right? Let's hook up with some of our buddies. Let's fucking put our own deal together. We'll figure out a way to like do the show for free. Yep. Right? And then we'll just get people there and fucking like, we'll restart this thing.
Yep.
And fuck it, dude. COVID be damn, we ain't got jobs. Dude, yeah, we got jobs. We're fucking musicians.
Right.
Let's have jobs. We decide whether we have jobs or not.
Right.
And boom, you get it going. But we're not allowed to do that.
We're not allowed to do that right now.
We're not allowed to do that at
all. And I think that if you were to look back on the past, whatever, we'll say 5 to 10 years, right? You've been longer than that. It's 5 to 15 years. It's been a slow decline up to this point.
Definitely in the metal side of things. The hip hop community was going strong for a long time, like going real strong actually.
Yep.
They do some dope ass fucking concerts down at was it Bauhaus, I think? One of those local breweries. Dude, they set up a side stage. It's amazing.
Really? It's nice.
It's fucking amazing,
really?
Dude. I seen POS there, but it wasn't POS. It was Steph had a group with
what was it one of the Doom Tree family?
It might have been somebody in that family of bands or groups or whatever, but it was him. It was a white dude. It was hip hop. They had two guys doing the music. One I think was like an actual DJ, like spinning records and shit, and then the other guy was straight up playing a drum machine, like not hitting play on a drum machine and playing a bunch of beats.
Yeah,
he's like playing the drums on a drum machine almost. Okay. So it's like I just thought it was so cool because I really always have a problem with electronic music.
Sure,
it's fucking annoying to me because it's like, dude, writing music is hard, but physically executing it live is what makes it so magical.
Yep.
Right? Because there's so many inflections you do when you're playing live.
Yep.
Right? Like you can do things and make that performance unique in and of itself.
Yep.
So doing that and playing to shit you've already recorded and it's just on a loop, it almost doesn't matter how good your song is.
Right.
Because you're missing an entire element of live music.
No, for sure. You
feel me?
No, I do completely. I myself.
This is just my personal opinion. I don't know if the listeners agree with me. They probably think I'm being an asshole right now, but I'm not even criticizing it. I'm saying it's always been my issue. And I just found that profound because clearly they needed to like figure out a way to perform and not seem like a bunch of assholes. And Steph's a pro. The other dude was a pro. I can't fucking remember their name. Kevin would kill me.
I mean, when it comes to
that drummer, that guy who's playing the shit, it was dope because he was also like into it.
Right.
You know, it was like boom, boom, ka, boom, 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 ka, boom, boom.
Right.
And he was just like throwing, dude, it just was a totally different vibe. And that's right down in Northeast Minneapolis in all those fucking brewery areas.
Yeah.
And dude, it was just fucking cool. The hip hop scene's been going great. Like I remember the rock scene was doing pretty fucking good. There was that band, Vaudeville. They were killing it for a while.
Do you remember the band Quiet Drive?
I do remember Quiet Drive.
They were good.
And I remember that drummer being, I don't know his name. I've seen them perform once before they moved and got signed and then changed their name and then broke up. You remember that whole saga, right? I never met that drummer, but I seen him play once. And when he got off stage, when he got done, he stood up like they ended on a dime. And the whole sound system like cut out like it's supposed to.
Right.
And he fucking got up and threw his drumsticks down. It was like he was like pissed.
Yeah.
And they hit his drum set and flew out into the crowd. And I just remember thinking it was the coolest fucking thing. Because it was like, to me, it didn't matter if he was pissed off.
Right.
Or he was like, fucking Mike Singletary just sacked Brett Favre.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, whoa, like that type of vibe.
Yeah.
I didn't care. It didn't matter. There was this intensity, the way they ended their set, and he did that, and I stole that. Like I intentionally, like I already felt that release at the end of the set, but had never played an instrument on stage. Almost everybody thought I was just a vocalist, and then all of a sudden, when I got to be a drummer, like that seemed very natural, and it was very organic. So I was like, I remember this. I'm going to do this. And it was like my thing. And then at the end of every set, I would throw my sticks on my snare drum, perfectly angled and thrown hard enough. They'd bounce off and fly into the crowd. And it's like, that's the way I'm giving away my drumsticks.
Yep.
You know, like that old cliche.
Yeah.
Like,
no, hey, that's good rock and roll, baby.
It's a weird band for you to bring up because it's like that band very specifically, I remember, and I only seen them play once.
Quiet
they
Drive.
Fucking rocked.
No, they were good, man.
They were a good band.
They were a very good band. Good looking fucking dudes. Marketable music. You know,
Yep.
I mean, like a package that's a fucking A&R guy's wet dream or whatever.
Yeah, and like I
Fucking-
said, they fucking what did they do? They got signed, changed their name to something else, and then they broke up, I think.
Yep.
Oh, that's just a reminder. I got Chilton coming on the podcast.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
He's
coming on tomorrow.
That'll be fucking great, man.
Yeah, and then who do I have on? Or maybe that's not tomorrow. That's not tomorrow. That's Wednesday. He's coming on.
Yeah, that'll be great.
I got Crandall coming on tomorrow. You know Crandall, Justin Crandall.
The name is very familiar.
He's gonna kill me if he listens to this, and specifically this part. I can't remember his band name.
Okay, yeah.
He's been in so many, just like
The
all
name,
of us.
no, the guy's name is very familiar, and I'm sure that I've met him.
Just fucking.
See, my problem is then you go back through the Rolodex over the
You remember
years.
Lynch, Kevin Lynch? I think he's drumming in Crandall's band, or at least he was.
I'm not sure. The problem is that so many.
You remember Kevin, right? Or his name's not Kevin Lynch. That's my old bass player. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Kevin from Death Toll Odometer.
Death Toll-odometer.
Yeah, Death Toll Odometer was the name of the band. I think. You remember that band?
It was Death Row Martyr.
Death Row Martyr? Yeah, Death Row Martyr. Death Row Martyr. Yeah, there was another band called Death Toll Odometer from way back in the day.
Death Toll-odometer.
Yeah, no, there was, Death Row Martyr. Kevin, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, dude. There was a band called Death Toll Odometer from way back in the day.
This is my favorite podcast I've done.
Yep. Death Row Martyr. No, we've shared our rehearsal space with them.
Yeah.
So I've known him for years.
Yeah,
Fucking
they're
great
in a fucking...
Sorry about that, man.
And so he's in Crandall's new project.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can
what's the name of their band? Is it they've been playing for a couple of years?
Yeah, and they I think they got 2 albums out. Oh fuck, he's gonna
Yeah.
He's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking kill me. He's gonna be so mad at me right now. This is so funny, dude. I'm gonna see if I can find his shit on Instagram, because I'm pretty sure I follow him on Instagram.
Well, they don't play that many shows though.
No, because they're smart.
Right.
And the reason they're not bigger is because they also don't fucking tour, right? So they're doing the local thing the right way. Oh, I'm typing my own name. How narcissistic of me. Justin. Yeah, so they do the local thing correctly. They don't play too often. It's like once every 3 to 6 months locally. And they probably do some out of town shit, and it's tough with COVID.
Well, right.
But I'm saying in general, they don't tour at all, because I think they got good jobs and shit. And
Sure.
that's the fucking problem, man.
Right.
Is like, okay, fine. Then be aggressive weekend warriors. Figure out a way to pivot at your job and get Fridays off, so you can leave Thursday night and get a third show in every fucking weekend.
Right.
Think about it. 52 weeks a year, you could be playing 3 shows.
Yep.
That's 100 and what is that? 156
156
shows a year. You want to get that number closer to about 250. If you can get to 250 shows a year, you're going to break.
Yeah, it's
inevitable.
It turns into you're gonna lose money initially doing it. I mean, that's just the way that fucking that's gonna be. And so if you do have a good job, and then if you have a kid, or if you're fucking married, whatever, the older you get, those things happen. There's just no way to. It's very difficult to make it work unless you're getting fucking paid.
He's going to be so mad. I wasn't even following him. Fuck. This is definitely him. This is definitely his goofy ass. But he doesn't have any pictures of his band shit like I thought he would. He's gonna kill me. Sorry, dude. Sorry, Crandall. I can't plug your band. I don't remember the name of it. I mean, to me, here's the thing: is like that's definitely a dick move on my part for not remembering his band name. But that's also an indictment of your band name.
Well, I mean, it's also an indictment on our memory. That's what I can look at. I mean, I'm like, dude, sometimes I have a hard time remembering what the fuck happened yesterday, man.
You know what I mean, though. You know what I'm getting at.
No, I know what you're saying.
If I can't remember your band name,
yep,
that's a big problem. Whether I'm fucking old or drunk or stupid,
right?
It doesn't really matter.
You want it to roll,
and that's kind of the point, right? It's like, if people have to try to remember your band name, it's not a good band name.
Correct. Yep.
That's a whole different subject, but that's a big one, dude. Is like, man, some of the fucking names. It's like, really, guys?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to say any of them on here. You can if you want. I'm not putting anybody else on blast, but I mean, dude, it's the same thing.
I mean, I'm the last one to fucking, say that I got.
Dude, Black Flood Diesel is pretty cool. I mean, you guys were cool because you also rolled with all the mocking nicknames. Big fucking deal.
Yep.
What were some of the other ones? I've heard some pretty good ones over the year.
Yeah.
Black Flood Diesel is the obvious real one. Big fucking deal was hilarious because it was both a compliment and a sarcastic retort.
You could take it either way.
Like, who's playing up? Big fucking deal.
The thing with that band was like, really, I started to have a really good time with it was when you embrace the role of the villain type of thing. Like, that's when it really became fun. Like, okay, you guys you can talk some shit, and there's gonna be people who are talking shit, right? Whatever, because they're hanging around the head charge of guys when we're playing big shows, and fucking they're, are other musicians that might technically be better with what they're doing, but we're playing bigger shows. So there's really embracing the role of the villain, like, really fucking got me off. Like, that's when I really started to have fun. I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna treat this like entertainment, right?
You were good at it, dude.
Yeah, no, it was fun. And so the problem is that
I couldn't hang with you guys back then because I didn't do drugs. Like, I smoked a little weed and shit.
Sure,
but I wasn't even old enough to drink when I came into the scene. I was like fucking 18, 19 when I came into the scene, like actually into the scene.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to drink at all, and then I just smoked weed, and yeah, so I wasn't like part of the cool kids.
Well, the thing is that it's like, you look back in time, and it's not this way so much anymore, and it should have never been this way. But with music and the stuff that goes on after the show and the whole culture of it, I mean, the concept of addiction is glamorized, has been glamorized over the years, right? Whether it's back to the 80s with people fucking drinking.
Do you subscribe to addiction as a disease?
No, I don't. I think that there's certain personality types that have personality, and we'll call them quirks or whatever. And compulsion being what it is.
Yeah.
It's a compulsive part of a person's behavioral and decision-making process, right? That the compulsion takes over logic and reasoning. And there are many people who don't have that problem, right? Who don't have a compulsory fucking issue.
Right.
Okay. I don't believe that addiction's a disease. I think that whole deal, here's my little conspiracy on that, is that whole deal was a way to get the insurance companies and the hospitals involved and the prescription drug companies involved in making money off of people with compulsory issues.
Right.
Because once you call it an addiction, it can be treated by a doctor.
Right.
Correct. It can be a disease. And now you're embraced by the medical community.
Right.
And what always fucked me up about that, because I've had my, run-ins with, trying to make the right decisions and aligning myself with the higher power. We'll put it that way, right? I've had several of them. And it never made any sense to me, because you're not going to find this really anywhere else in society, where it's acceptable to blend science, okay, and religion in the treatment protocol, right? You're supposed to come up with a higher power. It's okay if it's religiously based. It's also okay if it's not, but there's a lot of people who go back to, Catholicism or Christianity, right?
You're talking about like AA and shit?
Yeah, AA. Right. And that's a part of,
and
if
NA
you go to a
and all
hospital,
that shit,
right? Fairview, for instance, their program blends, and they preach it to you. They're like, this is the only way this is going to work for you to get off of whatever you're in here for, is if you take the medication we prescribe to you, okay, do it regularly, and go to meetings. So they, in one fell swoop, are telling you that you need to abide by science as well as spirituality, using it loosely, and some people take it religiously.
Right.
Now, you're not going to find that really anywhere else, right? That, to me, just screams there's something else going on here.
Sure.
Okay? And that's the fucking almighty dollar.
Why do you think that one's always interested me too, is like, even being somebody who's I'm not anti-religion by any means. It's always kind of fascinated me how religious they are in AA.
Well, it's it's like they tell you, they're like, well, you can, whatever your higher power is,
or NA
then,
or any
yeah,
of that
then
shit, which I've never been, but I've got
it's the same. It's a little
all
bit,
our friends have been to it.
it's a little bit different. You NA, there's a younger crowd that's there, and it's people who like are fucking drug addicts that don't, and then there are people who say, well, if you're a drug addict, then you're an alcoholic too. And you go to AA and you'll find it's just, you'll get out some of the older crowd in AA. But
yeah, and because
they don't tell you have to be religious, but they do tell you you have to be spiritual, and they give themselves a backdoor out by saying, well, if you fucking believe in a rock, and if that's your higher power, then that rock is what you listen to. Okay?
Oh my God, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, whatever your higher power is, then that's what, as long as you surrender to it, right?
But going back to the disease thing, like it makes sense that it's not a disease, because I think it's not a disease as well, because it's not like, okay, you might have a predisposition to alcohol abuse,
right,
in your DNA, right? But you never become an alcoholic,
right? Well, a disease, from my experience and by my
but you could become a cocaine addict,
but you weren't born that way. You
Right.
weren't born using
that's
blow right out the. All of a sudden, you're 4 years old and fucking you have this uncontrollable urge to use coke.
right? And it's like we categorize like, addiction is a disease, and it's like, really, motherfucker, because half of you are addicted to coffee.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
I
that's,
just don't
that's
think-
a legit stimulant, right? It does the same thing as nicotine. It does the same thing as a lot of other stimulants. Like it activates certain things in your brain, right?
Yep.
Like it stimulates your cognitive abilities. Like these things are scientific facts, and it's like we're all addicted to something, and it's a comfort or an impulse, right? So it's like learned behavior, kind of like what you said, and I think it's really just a lack of discipline.
Right.
Mental discipline.
You're still making with the disease, you get it, and there's a way of, like, say you contract COVID, okay? You contract it, right? You didn't make the decision to contract it. It happens to you, right? And diabetes, okay? Now you can make the case that if you're intentionally fucking not watching what you're eating and you get fat, and then you made a choice, but you're not choosing to get diabetes, right?
Right.
With any type of disease, you're really not choosing. It happens to you, and then you have it. Then it needs to get treated, right?
Right.
With addiction, every time you decide to pick up the bottle or fucking pick up the pipe or pick up the needle, right, you're making a choice, okay? And you do from the very beginning. Now, you could have certain ways that you're behaving that are going to cause you to do that, and there are factors that you can target at the root of it.
Right.
To
triggers.
Triggers.
Yeah.
But I think the disease, saying it's a disease is an easy way out for people not to take accountability.
When you start like getting to the root of it and you start like identifying those triggers and things, is what you're doing is you're identifying a series of events that make you do drugs.
Right.
You're going, well, here's what happens. Every time I hang out with these people, we do these things.
Yep.
That makes me want to get high or get drunk, and then I do it.
Right.
So something, either those people or that place or that activity has now been identified as a trigger.
Yep.
You didn't catch a trigger.
Right.
It's something you developed a routine
learned
on.
behavior to a degree.
An impulse, a routine, and then you became addicted to a chemical substance associated with the way you feel during that moment or that activity or around those people.
Here's what's fucking crazy. Okay.
Or it's self-medicate. I mean, there's a billion I'm painting with a broad brush here, but it's just like I get it, fucking. But at the same time, it's like, here's the thing is, dude, I have an addictive personality.
Sure.
That's not a disease. I have an addictive personality.
Right.
That sure is inherited. Like maybe you're fucking like autism, right? Like autism is inherited. It's in your genes. Because that's what they try to say is it's genetic.
Right.
And it's like, no, you might be predisposed to having an addictive personality or being more prone to certain substances. Right. But again, I identified that and went, oh, I'm a very indulgent person.
Right.
So not only do I like to experiment, but when I find something I like, I dive in head first.
Right.
I want to find the bottom of the pool.
Right.
And that's dangerous. So I don't even want to fuck with drugs, X, Y, and Z, because I know I can't handle those.
Right. See, and so
but that, like you said, that's a choice. It
no,
was a
it's- and it's
conscious
always a choice.
awareness. Exactly.
everybody, you're always
So
making a decision.
all of these things are defying the idea that it's a disease.
Correct. And you just got to look at it that way. And I think that it's the reason that it's classified as a disease is a
So
fucking
they can make money
it's a
off
money
of it.
grab on it.
I think you're right. So they can start billing insurance
Yep.
for it. 'cause
And the
now
hospitals
it's a
are
medical
involved.
issue.
Here's what's fucking crazy, okay? And I don't shy away from, a lot of parts of my past, right?
I never thought about it that way, but I think you're totally right. I'm going to grab one more, do.
Okay, perfect.
You want one?
No, I'm good. Thank you, man.
We've been going for...
Yeah, that's good. So, where were we at on that one? Okay, here's what's crazy, right? Over the years, just with things that have happened in life and some of the stuff that I've seen or whatever, and I encourage more or less everybody, especially now, to examine the idea of having a therapist, right? Now, whether it's just a psychologist that you go talk to, right? Someone you can talk to that's a third party, right? It's not your partner, right? It's not your family.
You like therapy?
I think
you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's very helpful. I
refuse.
Well, okay, so just hear me out here, right? Hear me
I
out.
just refuse to do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Yep.
I refuse to do it.
No, and that's totally understandable. The point that I'm about to make is this, right? I have been open to the idea of therapy, right? And have had several different experiences with several different people, okay? I've also been through rehab in the past, okay? And the most recent therapist that I went to, is a very good psychiatrist, works at a major hospital half the week and then takes appointments the other half, right? Very difficult to get into. So I started seeing her, and when I was in treatment, they, on like day 2 or day 3, you meet with the shrink in there, right? And he's just processing people through all the fucking time, right? So, I mean, who knows what's going on in this guy's head, whether or not he's just trying to get to the next fucking person. But I was diagnosed as bipolar, okay? And this is after like day 4 or 5 that I'm in there. Now, what I'm in there for takes much longer than 5 days.
In case anyone's confused, what does it mean to be bipolar? I know what it means, but in case anybody else is confused.
Right. So there's, and to be honest with you, I still don't really completely understand it, but I was diagnosed as it. For my understanding is that it's basically, in an old school way of looking at it, you're a manic depressive, right? You have episodes of mania.
It's wild mood swings.
Yeah,
is what it really is.
Wild mood swings, and then
I dated a girl who was bipolar,
Yep.
like actually bipolar,
Right.
for real.
Yep. So
And I don't think bipolar. There's a spectrum of it, right? No, like you're either bipolar or you're not.
right.
I get it. I'm not a fucking physician. I get it. I'm not a psychologist. I get it. But dude, I've known you for a long fucking time. You're not goddamn bipolar.
No. So here's what's crazy. Okay, is what I'm in there for, right?
You are insane.
Well, right.
not
There's
bipolar.
there's that like Chris Rock says in Old Skid. Whatever happened to crazy? Whatever happened to just good old crazy?
You are out of your fucking mind.
Right.
But you're not bipolar. No, you're a
Right.
musician. You're fucking nuts. You're a rock star. You're dude, that's what it is. And you've calmed down dramatically as you've gotten older because you're a fucking human being.
Right.
That's what it is. Like, dude, imagine who you would have become before technology allowed for rock stars.
Right.
What the fuck would guys like us have done in our 20s? Probably gone to war, right?
Yeah.
We would have probably been soldiers. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's where you go get your glory, your adrenaline, your fucking, because that's all we are, is we're really, no matter what you want to say about it, musicians, about junkies, addicts, any of this shit, we're adrenaline junkies.
Right. You want the fix
We're
somehow.
adrenaline
Right.
junkies. And that's what you're really seeking. We're thrill seekers, and some guys fucking jump out of planes to get it. Some guys fucking, you know what I'm getting
Yep.
at. Like, hopefully the listeners finally see where I'm going with this. Like, we're all searching for anything that will give us these juices of euphoria.
Yep.
Okay. And it's a personality type. And some guys find rock climbing or fucking paragliding or all this crazy, wild, extreme sports shit. Some guys become football players or soldiers or musicians or comedians. Doesn't matter. We're all getting the same chemical release.
Right.
Now, I've been lucky enough to do a lot of these things, and I will tell you the two best, and it's not fair to compare them. They're two very different, but they are the best, is getting a room full of people to laugh basically on command, meaning like your joke lands.
Yep.
Like, dude, I don't know if you ever tried it on stage because you were always way more serious. I could never take myself that serious. Your band was very serious and your shows were very serious, but I used to mid-stage banter. I got sick of saying all the like cliche things. I did my job, stick around for, let's give it up for this band, the opening band, whatever, stick around for these guys as soon as we're done. Tip your bartender, all that shit, right? Like, I did my job. But I got so sick and tired of just trying to, because guys need to take a drink of water. They got to retune their guitar. They got to switch guitars, whatever, right?
Right.
Technical difficulties. The drummer's fucking kick pedal fell apart.
Right.
Okay. I got to kill 2 minutes.
Right.
Okay. So I start telling jokes.
Right. Right.
I started telling jokes. Dude, and I improv'd everything, and a lot of them were just self-deprecating, but dude, when one of them would land and you'd get 1,000 people to laugh, it's euphoric.
No,
that's one of the greatest feelings. There's nothing else like it on the planet. And then the second one is what we've both experienced, is you're playing in front of a huge crowd. It's packed. They're loving you. Every time the song ends, you get this loud fucking roar that's like, it goes through your earplugs or your monitors. It goes through it. Sometimes if they're loud enough and the club is small enough, it overwhelms the PA system.
Right.
When they're yelling back at you, like, and then seeing those kids yell back your lyrics. That's the other one.
Yep.
It's that whole second thing, which is the music thing, and then getting everybody to laugh.
Yep.
It's easier to describe the laughter because
it's
one single solitary thing, whereas the fucking the music shit's like a 45-minute process.
So
it's like all your senses and like the way you feel the music, and it shakes your body. Like, dude, I remember. Is there a greater feeling than before everyone shows up at the venue and you walk out on stage to do sound check and your drummer's checking the kick drum and it's shaking the stage a little bit, and you feel it in your chest? Check.
No, that's a good feeling.
Because and then there's that smell of the venue. It doesn't stink yet. It doesn't smell like BO. It doesn't smell like cigarettes yet. Like, there's some food, there's some fryer oil you can smell a little bit.
Yep.
A lot of bleach, maybe some dried cum.
Right. I mean, right.
But there's this very specific blend of smells in a like clean venue before the night starts, and sound check is starting, and like that's when it starts for me. That's when I don't get nervous anymore. I get anxiety, and that's when the anxiety starts, because it's like, okay, we're sound checking. Like, now I know this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then we play.
Yep.
And waiting through all of that, it's just like, oh man, it's a fun feeling, but it's nerve wracking as well. Like, I get such bad anxiety because I can't stand waiting. Once we sound check, it's like, dude, I'm over this. Like, I'm over this whole thing. I just want to go do my job now. I'm so fucking ready to go do my job.
Yep.
Like, I can't go up there and sound check and like, okay, let's flip the switch off. I'll see you in 3 hours when the show begins.
Right.
It's like, no, dude, once we fucking sound check and the guys start playing, and like, it feels different when you're on stage. Even just during sound check, it's like, now I'm on now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, the switch has been flipped and there's no going back for the rest of the night. That is a fucking... And then, like I said, how that escalates throughout the night, and then once you're playing, and then when you get off, and if you're lucky enough, and they're like, one more song.
Yep.
It's happened a few times to me.
That's a good one.
Yeah, let me ask you this, dude. Have you ever been booed off a stage? Because that's an old rite of passage that the elders always told us about. Now, I've never been booed off
I've never been booed off a stage, but what the closest that happened was we were super young band, and we got the call to open for Mudvayne on their first U.S. tour at the Quest. It was us and Two Ton Crutch and we opened for them, And we were a new band, and we were just starting to get our feet wet with the whole stage presentation thing. Like, everybody's fucking, over the top with what they're wearing and shit like that. The whole stage show, right? And still kind of dialing in the sound, and you're the opener, and you're new, right? We did get, at that one, I remember, we absolutely got heckled by a handful of fucking kids, right?
Really?
Oh, yeah, totally. And I was super young, and I'm like, oh, fuck, whatever, And you look back on it, and it's like, oh, fuck, everything was so raw at the time and, like, developing, and you're still trying to figure out what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't wrong,
Right.
They weren't wrong about it. But you take that personally a little bit. But then that all kind of goes into, at a certain point, experiencing something like that. And fuck, on every tour that I've ever been on as an opener, okay, you're not going to find, I don't care who you have in here or who you're going to talk to, you open on a fucking club tour for a fucking mid-major national band, right?
Right.
Doesn't matter which one it is. If you're one of the openers, you're fucking lying out of your teeth if you say that you've been to every city on that tour supporting that band and the people in that fucking room really actually gave a fuck about you. Like, there are certain cities, they don't fucking care.
Right.
They just don't care. And so you're not going to get booed.
that's the opener at any show.
Right. And you're not going to get booed per se, but and you can hear fucking people talking about, oh, that band sounds like fucking shit. I've heard about it from any band of everybody that I know that's open for fucking larger bands.
Yeah,
Nobody
gives a fuck, dude.
Nobody cares.
At
Nobody
any
cares.
level.
Right, at any level. So
whether you're opening for Metallica, like, sorry, who was that fucking band that came through Minnesota with Metallica?
Avenged Sevenfold?
No, they always do. It was the band that played before them. It was the actual opener. Fuck, who was it? They got a fucking stupid song on the radio. They're terrible. I'm sure they're great guys. I'm sure they're great musicians, but the band, the music, it's not great. It's terrible. It's awful.
Right.
I can't remember their fucking band name, but anyways, it was like, we walk in and my buddy Chuck is like, what the fuck? They already started? And I'm like, nah, bro, this is just the opening band.
Right.
He's like, should we go check them out? I was like, fuck no, we're not going to check out the opening band.
Right.
And he goes, well, let me just look down on the field, because you don't enter on field level at US Bank Stadium.
Right.
You can, but we didn't. We entered on the other side, right? So long story short, it's a 30-foot walk, and he looks over, and there's no one there.
Right.
And he's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, dude, like, the opening band basically plays when the doors are open.
Yep.
Like, so they okay, start your set, boom, open the doors. So you're like literally that's how a lot of them do it. And so you're literally, sometimes they'll open the doors an hour before the opening band starts, but nobody fucking shows up at those either. It's the same thing as a local band,
right,
dude.
Totally.
All the way down the chain. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, and I tell these when I book these little local shows where it's like, we're in certain situations with the wrong bands, you're still working. Like, fuck, man, we got to get 500 people to show up.
Right.
How do we get 500 people to show up? Let's make sure we book the right bands.
Right.
And dude, I've still had conversations where it's like, okay, I need you guys to open. This is what your job is.
Right.
I need you to bring 50 people.
Yep.
Period.
Right.
And then when they play,
and the 50 people doesn't include your girlfriends.
Right.
It doesn't include your texts.
Right.
That doesn't count in the number.
And then when they play, and they do their job, but then when they play, they're like, hey man, these fucking, and they hang out all night, because you got to wait to get paid.
Right.
And, by the end of the night, the headliner goes on, there's fucking 500 people in the room for the headliner.
Yep.
So we've achieved our goal plus probably another 150 that have left throughout the night.
Yep.
Long story short, they're like, hey man, we'd really love to do this again with you. Is there any way we could, play second or third on the bill next time? It's like, no.
Yep.
You literally are an opening act. Your job is to bring 50 people super early. And no one is interested in your band yet.
Right.
That's why you're opening.
Right.
This is just a shot for you to start paying your dues.
Yep.
And fucking then all of a sudden, if you start getting to where it's like, oh, all of a sudden they got 150 people coming to see him as the opener, then I bump you back a slot.
Right.
And then once you start getting to 250, 300 people just for your band, then maybe we talk about bumping you to direct support.
Right.
And you ain't fucking headlining in this town until you're drawing 500 people
right.
to see your band.
Right.
And dude, I was part of bands, and fucking I tried to push it and like, let's see if we could drop that number. Let's play a smaller venue, which we did in the Tyrants. We just said, fuck it, dude. There are no good headlining bands. No one's drawing 500 people.
Right.
So we can't do that anymore. You played shows with the Tyrants.
Yep.
Remember we would do this?
Yep.
And I'd be like, let's get Black Flood to headline because they can still fucking pull, right? And then we'll fucking play second and we'll get another opener.
Yep.
And we would have these great shows in these small venues.
Yep.
And it was like,
that's a good time.
It was like a tiny resurgence of the scene in the industry. And all it took is for one asshole, me, to go, hey, let's just do this in a smaller room. Why are we struggling to get 500 people in an 800 person venue?
Right.
If we know we can draw 500, let's just book a 200 person venue.
Right.
Then the place is fucking packed.
Right.
And let's start doing that consistently, because then when those people come to our shows, it feels like a thing again.
Yep.
I mean, fuck, dude, how many times have you been to the Rock? I don't know what it's called now, the Doghouse or something.
The Doghouse.
I think it's been called the Doghouse for years. But how many times have you been to that fucking place for a great show and it's half full and it seems pathetic?
Right. Right. I mean,
half the time, right?
Well, yeah, I'd say about half the time. It's, no, it is fun. It is fun playing smaller venues. I mean,
I would rather pack a smaller, again, if I know I can draw 500 people, I'd rather book a 200 or 300 person venue and max it out at 200 or 300 rather than put 500 people in an 800 or 1,000 person room.
My big thing was always, it's okay if you have, like, First Avenue, I think you can get 1,300 people in there or so.
I think it's 15, but
So we'll say 15. We'll say 1,500.
Yeah, because I remember The Rock losing a show because The Rock was technically, they'd figured out a way to get the capacity up to 1,288. So
Okay.
they called it 1,300. And I remember Brian lost a show to First Avenue because the band wanted the extra 200 ticket sales.
Okay,
That was the only reason. And I was like, really? Those guys got lucky with that decision because it's a way better venue.
Right.
Brian was all salty about it and
Right.
shit. I'm like, dude, it's fucking First Avenue.
No, it just is what it is. It is what it is. So you can, okay, so say an instance like, we don't even got to use First Avenue. We'll use the Rock, right? I played out there a bunch of times.
Well, and it's not around anymore. So
Yep.
it's in the Doghouse now, so we can talk about the Rock.
Yeah,
right?
same.
Star Central, same thing.
Yeah, same. Whatever, same room layout, and I've never sold out the Rock, but I mean, we had a bunch of people in the Rock, but there's empty spots in the room or whatever. But my big thing was always,
I never sold out the Rock as a headliner, but I played the Rock sold out as direct support to Head Charge. Actually,
okay,
that was one of my favorite shows I've ever played.
Yeah, no, that had to be fun. So if you
It was all right.
have your fans or the people that are there that are just ready to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay. All of a sudden, your half capacity room is a fucking zoo because and the club is making dough, and now it's fucking lit. You know what I mean? You got people.
I swear to God, that's how I made half my career. Is even though we weren't drawing the same as you guys, we got put on those shows because we might draw half as many as everybody else, but our people, I think the number was either $20 or $40 per person is what they average at the bar.
Yep, $20. Yep.
But our fans would drop like $100 each.
Well, right.
So even though we're only drawing 500 instead of 1,000, like some of the other headlining local bands, and we never wanted to headline anyways because you don't have time to drink afterwards, right? So we always wanted to never play anything later than direct support. But it didn't matter. It was like, no, we want those bands on there because they're going to make us a lot of money. So we got away with a lot just because our people would get fucking wasted.
Well, right.
The bars would make so much money off of our fans.
Well, yeah, that's great, and all of a sudden you got fucking weird people doing weird shit in the fucking side room or whatever, and weird shit going on in the parking lot, and that's great, and so that makes up for. I mean, obviously you want a fucking sold out room, right? But if you got that type of thing going on, that's a good time. That's what, because it's all about stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the stories and the memories that you can make with people, right? And the kind of the sad irony of it, for me at least, is that you stack up enough of those nights, and before you know it, you can't remember the stories.
And the parties,
it's like,
in the parties, I don't think people understand. Like, you do not need to be in fucking Metallica in order to experience some of these rock star moments as if you're watching a behind the scenes or something in a fucking dramatized, like that Motley Crue movie, right? I haven't actually seen that one, but I heard it's actually pretty good. But like the shit you hear about, the stories you hear, like we experience those very quickly at the local level. If you can get 500 people to come see your band, and then you hook up with 2 other bands that can draw 300 to 500, you end up in these situations where you're playing for 1,000 people, 1,500 people. And when you get off stage and you're in a group that big, it's like the closest thing to lawlessness.
Well,
like,
right.
The craziest shit goes on because there's no amount of people that can like manage that amount of people. Right. Like there's no amount of staff that can herd 1,000 people properly in their cars, in the back room, in the green room, in the bathroom, in the fucking broom closet. Like some of the wildest shit I've ever. And then the after parties, dude.
Right.
Oh, no, it's fucking
right.
God.
So it doesn't take, as we're talking this through, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how somebody could get hooked on whatever,
Even
booze, fucking coke, whatever.
There's guys we know that are 100% sober. They don't do any drugs, and they're still hooked on that lifestyle.
Sure,
and that's where we started this conversation.
Yep.
Because we should probably wrap this up. We're gonna end up at we're already at like 2:20, so we'll end up close to 3 hours by the time we actually wrap this up. But that's where we started this conversation, so it's a good segue to get towards the end of it, which is we attribute these things to just our ability to not need that adrenaline, that fucking hit,
right?
The fanfare of all of that. We attribute that to just getting more mature and realizing it doesn't. But it's because we start building that as our identity, right? Because you get these crazy parties, these moments, it's just this great lifestyle, and that becomes you. And then when you don't have that and you're living a mundane, normal lifestyle and nobody gives a fuck who you are, right? People are like, man, and you need that hit again. And then it happens at the next show. And then especially if you're a dude and you're good looking and actually you don't even need to be good looking. But if you're a dude, like it's got to be worse. It can't be the same for chicks. Because when you're a dude, hot women throw themselves at you. I gotta imagine being a female musician sucks because you gotta be getting hit on by the grossest.
It's the grossest drunk dudes.
Yeah, like
you are so beautiful. Oh my god, he sounds so good.
Like one of the dude. Like being on the road and chasing tail is one of the most nostalgic things about being a single touring musician. I mean, I'm married now,
right?
So it's a different story. But when you're single, chasing tail on the road is fucking. You get off stage, you rock the fucking house. Dude.
It's a time-honored tradition.
Yeah, man. Some girl fucking invites you back. You're like, oh, cool. We're gonna go to her apartment. And then all of a sudden, you end up at some fucking mansion.
Yeah.
And you're like, can the rest of the guys come over? And she's like, yeah, of course. And then fucking you call the boys over because fucking you were going to split up. And you're like, dude, she's got a fucking mansion with a pool. Like, y'all got to get down here, dude. Okay, cool, man. And then all of a sudden we have like a little house party going on. And then again, something straight out of a movie, right?
Yep.
But dude, imagine being a chick on the road getting hit on. Road dick must suck. Like they constantly have to be worried about getting kidnapped, roofied, and raped, right? Like that's all I would be terrified of.
Here's a real quick funny
That's
story.
Why they always end up fucking a band member, isn't it? That's why I bet you that's it. It's too risky for them to fuck fans.
Well, yeah,
so
but
they
then,
end up
and then
fucking
you
a band
get
member,
the
and
dude,
then the band breaks
the dude
up.
in the band that's like say
I'm
they
in love with her.
Say they weren't together before, but the dude in the band's like, oh, she can understand me. She understands my artistic pain. Oh, I'm in love with you. And then the chick's like, oh, I like you too. And then all of a sudden she's like yelling at him like a normal relationship goes, and the band breaks up.
Yep. That's what always fucking happens.
That's how it goes,
Never fuck your band members.
Right. And then the other dudes in the band are like, dude, fucking we talked about this shit, man. You weren't supposed to fuck her, dude. Yep. That's
never fuck your band members. Never fuck your managers or your agents.
Yep.
And never you can only fuck in the music industry. You can only fuck people that work for you. No, I'm just kidding.
right.
Only your subordinates that you can control and manipulate are you allowed to have sex. If you're in a position of power,
right,
then you can don't do that. I'm joking.
Oh, that's great, man. That's fucking classic right there. Oh, that's funny.
Man. You got is there anywhere people can go to find this shit?
So that the track we played earlier, it'll be released in October, right? Full master, whatever. It'll be thrown up there. The other musical project, we're just getting off the ground. You know, we're in the middle of writing a second tune. You know, the goal is to have something back in play. I'll probably do a
Do you have your
thing.
own website yet? Here's what you gotta do, man. You gotta fucking just drop the stupid fucking $30.
Yep.
Find somebody locally. Justin Bone. You remember Justin Bone? I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
Boehne.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a badass graphic designer. He'll hook you up with something for really cheap.
Okay.
And dude, you should get your own website, like literally gregmoog.com, and just use it as an aggregate to start pulling all of this shit that you're a part of.
Yep.
And dude, it's so much easier nowadays because, like, I don't remember who I was talking about, but like, bands have gone back to relying on like Facebook.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, Facebook could be the next MySpace.
No,
like,
it could.
And then you're just constantly rolling over this next social media platform, and it's like, just get a goddamn website, dude.
The thing with me is that, and it's a personality flaw. Is I've got a very bad habit of leaving the past when it comes to musically, right? Like, I have barely any fucking memorabilia of any of the shit that I've done. Okay, I don't have really a goddamn bit of our catalog that we've done, even though like it's my baby, you know.
Okay, we got to fix that.
Yeah, no, totally. So I have a bad problem in the past, just of like putting it in the past, and for whatever reason.
Do you remember AC from TC Bands?
No, I do not. No,
I'll hook you up with him.
Yeah, so I mean, it's something that's had to been done for a while. Whatever. For me, I guess, and this is not an excuse. This is just real talk. Artistically speaking, and being involved in music and the creation of new music and wanting to continue to do it, I like to look back in the past, but there's something magical about not being attached to something that you've already done and always looking at things as like a mystery type of deal.
Normally I would call bullshit, but it sounded so much more deep because of the sunglasses you sold me. Because of the glasses you sold me. I resisted this entire podcast to give you shit about wearing sunglasses on my podcast. All right, let's wrap it up, buddy. Right. Where do you want people to follow you?
You can go to...
is everything just Greg Moog? I know I asked you this last time.
It's everything Greg Moog. You can go to the Blackfoot Diesel Facebook page and you can do that.
But if they want to just go to Instagram, it's just Instagram.
I'm just up on the book. I'm up on the book. I'm not on Instagram.
I think you're the only Greg Moog out there, so...
There's a Greg Moog that's a drummer in France.
Did I ever tell you that I still to this day have you in my phone as Mooger Fooger?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a pedal out there called
yeah. Yep.
And they actually pronounce it Moog.
Yeah, they pronounce it Moog.
Yep. And it's the Mooger Foger, but it doesn't make any sense because it clearly says Mooger Fooger.
Right.
And it sounds better when you say Mooger Fooger.
Yep.
So I've always had you in my phone as the Mooger Fooger.
So yeah, that's pretty much that, man. We'll have a Derek Show page up at some point in time here in the future, and
I got another one for you. You remember Anwar?
Yeah, Anwar. Yeah, yep.
I'm thinking about doing a football show.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get him to come down.
Yep.
We're gonna sit here and watch games.
Yep.
Maybe when the Vikes play the Bears,
I'm in.
I'll have you too.
I'm in, and for that one, I will tie one on.
Yeah,
we'll get hammered.
Yeah,
the Bears got a fucking Trubisky.
Let's look it up real quick.
I can't.
Before you get out of here, let's look it up real quick.
I hope he has a shitty first half against the Lions and gets pulled.
Let's look it up real quick. I want to find the date.
Yep.
So we can actually conceptualize this. We're going to do it right on the podcast so people can hold us accountable. All right. Scotty's going to be pissed because Scotty wants to be a part of the football podcast, but right now I'm only going 3 chairs. I'm not going 4 yet.
Vikings Bears 2020. Yep.
Shy 2020. Because if we're gonna get hammered, I can totally do that, but I gotta prepare and understand that. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I gotta know that like I'm getting shit faced during the day. We're going full nooner.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a real football Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Or if we can catch them on like a Sunday night.
November 16th.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull up the calendar. We'll look at this right now. Boom. They're both in November, aren't they? No, November and December. Holy fuck.
Yeah, they don't play each other till late. I'm going to be in Vegas I don't know if it's that week or the following week, but it's definitely in November.
Okay, well then we'll just look at this December one then.
The December 20th one, though, I mean,
What did it say? November 16th? That's Monday night. Dude, I'm not getting
Monday night.
I'm
No.
not getting fucking hammered on a Monday night, dude. Well, who am I talking to? I get hammered on all nights.
Right. It can happen.
I don't like drinking during the day. I would actually prefer to do that one if we can. It's the Monday night game. If you have that open, because Anwar's not going to drink regardless.
Yep.
But if you're not in Vegas,
I'm in Vegas one of these 2 weeks. I know.
if it's not this one, then
Yep.
I want to do that one over what's clearly going to be a Sunday, the 20th.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm down. If I'm around, I'm down.
Because that's going to be a noon game. You know goddamn well it's going to be
That'll be a noon game.
They won't flex that shit.
No.
Unless they're both fucking 10-2 by
Which
that point.
I have
It's
a hard
not
time
happening.
seeing that happen.
All right, buddy, let's wrap it up.
All right.
I got to take a massive leak anyways.
Rock
This was
and roll.
fun, man.
Yep,
We'll
absolutely.
do it again soon.
All right,
Thanks,
brother.
guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. All my social media shit's now at the top of the page. So if you just go to the YouTube page, there's little icons up there. Otherwise, if you're too lazy for that, it's all Jared Singer live. Yep. I sound like fucking Larry King. All right, guys. Love you. Talk to you soon.